to Season 3 of Behind the Lines. I am co-host Ron Harlow. Next to me, the man, the myth, Robert Keebs Keeler. And we're busting through, again, another probably close to a couple hours worth for you of commentary, discussion, and we are simulcasting for the very first time on YouTube under Behind the Lines and Ron Harlow Media. And please watch last week's show where we really dug deep into the NFC. We kind of overchewed a little bit, right, Robert? We thought we were going to get all this stuff in. We never did. But we'll get you ready. Some draft folks are ready this weekend, right?
Heard some people drafting this weekend.
Wow. That's amazing.
A little early for my taste. But
I think so.
There's going to be at least one major injury between now and Labor Day weekend.
Right. Oh, yeah. A first rounder, maybe.
Right. Maybe a first round type player.
I would say, yeah. That's a golden rule. If you're a what do you call it, a commissioner out there, you guys want to be doing these things as close to the start of the season as possible. Obviously, we run into that big problem, which we did for years. I mean, it was always a fight struggle for the Labor Day weekend thing, right? Always a struggle.
Well, I think it was a struggle back in the day when you used to have the drafts when you get together.
I used to, yeah, because
right?
I love
those.
So you
had to get together.
Nobody does that anymore. Yeah, I love that. That was really the reason I loved the most out of it.
You had to get people together, and it was hard to do on Labor Day because everybody's doing stuff with their family. It's
right.
That last weekend before the kids used to go back to school.
So we've drafted the Wednesday before. We've drafted Thursday during the game and say, I'll take that guy that just scored a touchdown and put him in for like a one-game wonder. We've had it happen. I don't like it. But, all right, let's talk about the week that was. How much preseason did you get in?
I watched a good chunk of the Bears game.
I didn't get to see that one really yet.
It was, interesting.
Fields look good.
I mean, but he's playing against the 2s and 3s, so.
But since we got it, since we're going to talk about those teams, Miami, blurb out today for you Gaskin fans. Not happy to see it. And they're talking three-headed monster. Now they've got Malcolm Brown and that Salvin Ahmed, who actually saved me a couple times filling in for Gaskin last year. Looks like it's going to be a three-header.
Yeah, the coach is talking about that. They'll have a running back by committee, and I think nowadays you're going to get 2, but when you get 3, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, he's going off in the 5th round, 6th round. When we talk about zero RB strategy, boy, that puts a kink in puts a kink in my strategy because I wanted him. I like the guy, but all right, what did we see? What did we notice? Again, I've got some notes just from the week. Again, randomness. Robert, throw out anything. Again, we're going to go into the AFC. Throw out anything you got. We'll go back and forth. How about this? Mecole Hardman, you sleepers out there. No Kansas City wide receiver besides Tia Hill or Kelsey has been in the top 50 since Jeremy Maclin in 2015. And his very first attempt in the preseason game, Mecole Hardman dropped the ball, which he had dropped. He dropped it.
You would have thought Sammy Watkins at some point would have crept in there at least a couple of years ago when Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns.
But dudes are hyping on Mecole. Yeah. And I'm like, get ready. I mean, there might not be room. You got to.
Well, they were talking about Pringle
now.
Oh,
Pringle, yeah.
Pringle's getting a lot of hype, too. So you're like,
I
don't think you can trust any of those guys to be that secondary
Pringle, too.
70-80 catch guy.
Pringle, too salty. Too salty. Way too salty. You got a guy, or I'm going to keep firing? I can keep firing. How about this?
Go.
Traquan Smith, Devontae Smith, Dak, Waller, JJ. Whenever I say JJ, that's Justin Jefferson. Just know it. Connor, Curtis Samuel, all back in practice. I hope you check those out. Yep. Again, people get squeamish, so watch those ADPs just start to creep up a little bit for guys that are healthy.
Well, I think I was looking at Chase Claypool. Hurt his ankle.
Yeah.
Still hasn't come back to practice. Still isn't back yet. He's been out for 2 weeks since the Hall of Fame game. So, still that kind of iffy for the first game.
I really want Deontay Johnson, by the way.
Okay.
Melvin.
And they still got Juju.
Melvin Gordon, a groin. Javonte.
The groin.
Javonte Williams had a game. He's already had a game.
He's
he's coming.
Melvin Gordon's going to be. Oh, no.
Can we
This guy
call?
just ran past me.
Can you say Javonte Williams a sleeper even more? I mean, he's
No.
got to roll right away, and he might have a very
No.
long, strong roll.
I think he's going to go beyond. I think as we get closer to draft, he'll move up.
I want to do a segment later on what we think might be some surprise teams this year, and Denver's definitely one of them for me. I know what you're saying. I know the quarterback. I think Bridgewater's that caregiver that can take the good players, because Judy's freaking good too, by the way. Love Sutton. Love Font.
You loved it.
We know Font. They got good defense. Von Miller coming back. Von Miller coming back.
They got a very good defense.
And they know how to play in that air. I think that they're going to be a surprise team. We can do that. Diggs knee. Stephon Diggs knee. Say it's going to crawl into the regular season.
Well,
and
missed last week due to knee injury. No, the team's saying the right things. No concern at this point. Will be out at least a while longer. The head coach said he shouldn't go into the regular season, but there is way too much talk around this guy's knee.
Right, and that affects that entire train, by the way, since he's a top 3 wide receiver.
Absolutely.
Again, throwing stuff out. Is his name Adam? Adam Troutman, 0 targets. We don't want I know it's one game, it's early, but it's.
We should talk about those Saints quarterbacks.
Yeah.
6 turnovers. Did you see that?
Was Hill throwing some BBs though early? He was throwing some. He was throwing it right on, but he want to throw it through a couple of guys. He can't throw it through the guy.
The guy ran a 5-yard crossing pattern. He missed him by about 5 yards and went right to the other defender. And you just saw Sean Payton go, "Oh no!"
You just can't throw it through the guy. No way.
6 turnovers. I don't think Winston or Hill did themselves any good towards that starting job.
More tids and bits, and how do you feel about it? 13 teams have already declared that they will not be playing any starting quarterbacks, in the preseason. That's the only ones that have declared. Some teams are already doing it one game at a time. How do you feel about this for the team in general? For 0. I mean, I'm not saying play a whole game, but maybe a half or a quarter the game before.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you think these practices that they play against other teams are what they sort of use as a?
And then if you play against your team, your defense at full speed, it kind of simulates the game. I mean, most of those quarterbacks don't need the experience, aren't trying to earn a job. So
another one of my surprise teams throwing out tids and bits, the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Derek Carr's got a chance to even maybe be a top 10 quarterback this year. I know, crazy. Drake stat.
You got a crazy belt?
Yeah.
I want to hit that.
All right. I'm not.
That's a
I already lost.
Right
I think they got a chance. I don't know.
All right. Their defense is still bad.
That's the reason. Throw it, baby. All right. Would you give me any odds on taking? I only got to get one. Cousins or Carr make the top 10? I get both.
I'll take Cousins.
No. I got to get both.
Oh, you got to get them both in the top 10?
I have Cousins at number 10 right now.
Right. That's true.
You know that. I actually do.
I think it's a wishful. I know. You're talking about wishful thinking with Carr.
I think he's the highest completion percentage, 70. But don't worry, I got more to talk about this team. Hang on.
All right. We'll talk
Kenyon Drake, $11 million. That's more money than 2/3 of the NFL starting running backs.
Yeah.
Kenyon Drake. Wow. You really hate the Drake now, right? That is a crazy stat. But they're saying Ruggs is running him out of the gym. Brian Edwards, 6'3" himself, has great route running, and they got Waller the ball. Jacobs wasn't bad. So offensively, I think they're going to have to put up points as always, and I like them.
I think those young receivers are going to be better, right? They just by natural experience, they're going to be Rager's going to be better, and Rager's on the Eagles. Ruggs, I meant Ruggs.
Ruggs, here we go.
They said he's the guy that 20 pounds of muscle.
Yeah,
so
and I saw an interview, and he looked hungry. He looked hungry. I liked what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders, they got a good offensive team, and like you said, they're going to get in some shootouts with the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Rams watched it. The cool stat. Chase Daniels out there? Chase Daniel.
Yeah,
he's after this season, he's made $38.9 million in 13 seasons, and he started 5 games.
Yep.
That's the way to do it, by the way, because I don't want to get hit by these guys.
You're talking about a guy who's going to walk away, with his brain intact.
But let's talk about it. Henderson didn't play. Obviously, they're going to baby him along. Xavier Jones did get the start at RB, but Funk was in there. I wouldn't say either one of them stood out to me, to be honest with you, right now, even though, again, I'm on the Xavier Jones side of that coin. Absolutely. I think that one of them's going to play. Trey Lance, ouch. Boy, he looked ready. He was throwing it through guys' hands. That's why you watch the game. First play, right to him, drop. He threw it 80 yards in the second play. Third one, right to him, dropped out of bounds. They weren't catching balls, dropped. The San Fran guys were dropping balls right around them. I think I'm going to take Trey Lance as a third quarterback, and I never do that because I want to do a round where we go last round pick, and I think it's going to be
definitely Trey Lance. He's going to play this year.
He's going to play, guys.
He's going to play.
Maybe your last round pick.
Design rollouts, and he looked good at throwing on the run.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen here.
49ers
someone's going to give the farm for Garoppolo. That's what's going to happen here because guys are going to get hurt. I don't know. The guys are going to get hurt. They're going to get something.
A playoff team would have to lose their quarterback, and they would have to mortgage the future right now, right? Because it's hard to bring. We've seen it. It's hard to bring in a quarterback during the season, learn the playbook. But if a playoff team lost their quarterback, let's say Aaron Rodgers, broke his leg, you could see like a team like Green Bay going, okay, right?
We'll get him.
I mean,
or one of the Denver guys. I mean,
excuse me, I could see it definitely happening. You're right.
Right on. I'm not leaving the Jets. San Fran still. Trey Sermon. He is a lot bigger than I thought he would be. The numbers didn't look great, but I saw some shifty moves. Everybody that's not out there. It was nice to see him getting all. I mean, he played for the first half.
Yeah.
So clearly he's the guy. Remember, he's one of my. There's a group of guys he's going to be out of mine. The Jets are now not the worst team in the NFL. I guarantee you they're not. They played against the worst team in the NFL. Wow.
Houston's the worst.
I think maybe yeah. I guess.
Well, who are you going with?
Our Giants were pretty.
I don't like the
Giants. Are so bad.
Giants are bad too.
What's his name? Threw some zip. I think everybody's sort of ignoring Corey Davis here. He does have some talent. The first couple of plays when again Wilson didn't play very long, but that was a great timing out in the corner there, right? I mean, he wasn't even turned yet, and Corey Davis turned again. He was right on line.
We'll talk about the Jets when we talk about the Jets.
Yeah, sure.
But they got a solid receiving core now, and they got the rookies and somebody to look at.
I watched all three: Lawrence, Lance, and Wilson, and I think Trey Lance looked the best. But Marvin Jones also looked very good. And I have another thing. I watched a lot of football. The eye test tells me that the NFL needs to come up with some new ideas on 3rd and 1. I didn't see anybody getting any of them. Then San Fran got them, of course, because it's San Fran. They run the ball. Baltimore got them.
If you're not a running team, it's almost like you're challenged by, we got to get a yard.
We need some new ideas now. We need to try something else because it's not working, guys. It's not working.
It used to be smash mouth. The offensive line was a run-oriented offensive line that you could pass protect. Now it's all about pass protection, right? Because that's what everybody wants to do. So nobody's adept at. You could name the running teams on five fingers.
Right on.
Right.
All right, cool. Hey, we're gonna get into one of our segments now. If you're ready, Robert. You got some more guys there. Preseason. I mean, because we're not talking about all the teams, but this is preseason.
I saw Philip Lindsay with Houston.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about him being the starter and David Johnson being third down type back.
All right, I did watch it look better.
They did the little flip on the depth chart there. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, Drew Lock didn't look bad, too, with the Bridgewater. That's going to be a competition.
For sure.
Lock threw for, 150 and 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty good. We talked about Diggs. I think those are in my notes. Preseason.
Feel free to throw a question down there if you're watching. I'll check out our commercial break.
We've got a couple things.
And we'll answer them as we go.
Your boy Marquez Callaway from the Saints.
He was the only wide receiver on the field.
The only guy on the field looked great.
But he was.
He's gonna go from sleeper to
overdraft.
Yes,
because it could be short term.
He's a new Michael Thomas.
It could be short term. So. Number 1 too. He wears. That's what's cool.
I saw him
again. How about? Can we say at least a smidgen? Like you said, you're my guy. Can we say at least again? It's only game one. Like a few of our sleeper guys are blasting off right out of the gate. I mean, if you watched last week, you're like, man, these guys know what the hell they're talking about.
You like it in one respect, but then in another way, you're like,
right, because now we're not going to get them.
Nowadays,
people are going to draft them.
Nowadays, there's too many websites and too many people. You could be lazy and go find information. And that's the hard part.
And maybe we should go a little deeper. If you don't know who Marquez Callaway is yet, he's on the New Orleans Saints and probably the number one wide receiver right now until Traquan Smith gets healthy. But guys, Traquan Smith never been a top 50 wide receiver in his life. So this Callaway looked big, strong, and open. Yep. That's all you got to be. And I didn't think Taysom's ball looked that bad. He just didn't. But
he doesn't throw a bad ball.
I thought it was going to look a lot weaker.
But the problem you got with the Saints is what? That if you start Hill, Winston basically is just a head case. If you start Winston, you could package Hill and all the little gadget things that Peyton.
So you've described exactly what's going to happen this year, Robert. This is what's going to happen. So you don't want either one of those guys.
Right now, you probably don't want them because the volume won't be there for either guy to start in most leagues unless one of them gets hurt.
Right on. Avoidance. Players we are avoiding. They say fading. I don't know why I like that word. Fading.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fading. I've used it, I guess. It does sound kind of cool. I'm fading them. Like the fading guys. But our top 10 are here. I probably got more than this. And when I say fade, I erase their name. Undraftable, I call them. And one's going to be a first rounder here, and he's dropping like a rock. My number one, of course, we talked about him last week, Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. We talked about the Giants. I saw a second interview from him today on the sidelines to their Jets-Giants game. Right. Still sounding iffy, very unsure. He had that unsure. I've been on stage when I do comedy, and if you're swaying, you're in super. He was not comfortable with what he was saying. I honestly feel like he feels like he's stealing money right now because he's not going to be able to perform up to his level that he's used to. Yeah. I think he's questioning his own ability.
Wow.
Is there someone else there that I would want? They cut Alf, right? Alf Morris got cut yesterday. They're number 3, I guess. Devontae Booker is just no chance a 20-carry guy, a 15-carry guy. So I don't know what they're doing. I think the Giants are the worst team.
I'm with you on that one.
Mike Evans next. I've never liked Mike Evans. He was totally TD dependent. He did have that monster year when Chris Godwin came on the scene. That was a fun year for them both. I'm just not a big fan. He's always questionable, right? He's on the injury report every week, so you're always like, is he in the lineup? He's a hard guy to focus, and I just never been a pretty big fan. A.J. Brown, everybody loves him, and he's going sometimes late second, for sure early third. That's way too early with a guy on a team that runs the ball as much as they do that added maybe a Hall of Famer in Julio Jones. So there's no doubt some less targets, Robert. I like going through your notes. I'll just keep talking.
It's too many. I mean, last year when Goodwin, is it Goodwin or Godwin?
Chris Godwin.
When Godwin was out, that's when it kind of worked because he missed 5-6 games. So as Brown, they acclimated Brown. It wasn't his fight for the football. If all three of them were healthy at the same time.
Hey, we're on A.J. Brown, not Antonio Brown. We're on A.J. Brown.
Oh, I thought we were Antonio Brown.
No. We're our avoids. A.J. Brown because of Julio. They added Julio Jones.
Oh, you're avoiding him?
I'm avoiding him at an early 3, late second. I don't want him to be my number 1. I don't want to be my number 1 wide receiver. Sorry.
I don't think AJ's ever going to be that 100 catch
guy.
Right.
He's touchdown. He's gonna get some. He's gonna need
catch guy and stretch after the catch, run for touchdowns. But
he's gonna need touchdowns to offset those yardage. So that's always a crapshoot a lot. But what you got on your side is Julio Jones never catches any touchdowns. Well, I'm sorry. He does now. He had a long streak where he didn't know. Easy one. Kenny Galladay. The Giants are the worst. Kenny Galladay. I don't think that he is as good a wide receiver as Matthew Stafford made him to be that one season.
No.
In my opinion. So, and again, he's already hurt on a bad team. I'm passing there. Miles Sanders has already did me in. How many years has he been in the league? Doesn't have 200 touches yet. That scares me for someone who's going to be a number 1 or number 2 running back. on a team where, again, Jalen Hurts is probably going to tuck and run it quite often. I got Swift next. He's already got a groin. You guys know how we talked, if you watched last week, how we feel about Jamal Williams maybe being the 1A in a 1-2 punch there. Again, I'm really one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Lions are going to abandon the run. None of these players are guys, I like Jamal Williams, but I'm not running to the store to get him. I hope to be my 4th or 5th running back, and I only want to start him 1 or 2 times because that team's going to abandon the run. Maybe Robert Byrd blew in my head for this one because I added Mark Andrews to my list.
Oh.
I believe again that 171 passing yards a game is hard for me to chase after when I need. I got to have a guy that gets some yardage. And again, we're back to that TD dependent. We've learned that he's someone who can drop the ball too. I think he's been more focused on being the main guy because they don't have any other guys. I think now, at least with Sammy Watkins, he's going to be an early guy, and this Bateman guy is going to be a later guy. I think that shows a little bit of talent that makes Mark Andrews a top 10, but not a top 4 tight end.
Yeah, I don't know how
top 10 still.
I don't know how he's snuck in that high. I think a lot of people are high on him because they think he'll get double-digit touchdowns, and they think that Lamar Jackson will look for him in the red zone. But I don't think he should be in the top 5 at tight end. There's so much There's so many good tight ends now.
My next is a quarterback, Russell Wilson, who I don't even have in my top 10. Robert's surprised about that. I think they're going to
get like a crazy bell for you.
Well, here's the thing.
I want to hear why you don't want Russell Wilson.
Because I want to wait 2 more rounds and take Herbert or Stafford or Tom Brady.
Okay. So you're saying that you wouldn't take him like top 5?
Dak's going after Russell Wilson. Would you like Dak? I like because of the injury, the shoulder. Crazy. Again, Russell Wilson, first half MVP. I think they're going to run the ball way too much. Yeah. And those guys, they didn't catch a whole lot of TDs anyway. Wide receiver, rookie, drafted. This one baffles me, and this is probably ADP more than anything, is rookie Bengal, Jamar Chase. He is going dramatically ahead of both other wide receivers. Going way. You want to rank him? It's T. Higgins, it's Boyd, it's Chase. I would draft him in that order. And now you got same order. Same order.
Right. They said Chase he's not getting any separation. The NFL is pushing him around.
Here's T. Higgins, big guy.
Yeah, I mean that he's so far behind the other 2 receivers right now.
And he's like a 5th rounder. And you're going to get Tyler Boyd as your number 3 or 4 in like the 9th round. He's going to right. Tyler Boyd, 85 catches in his pocket right now. Guarantee 85. He's probably going to be 90.
You know what I want to call it? The JJ effect. I'm going to call it JJ
All right,
effect.
yeah.
That last year everybody felt like if they missed out on Jefferson,
right,
they're going to miss out on the next big rookie this year. All these guys aren't going to pan out. All these guys are going to be all-pro type receivers.
Right. I guarantee there's no chance Chase is the first read. There's no chance Chase is the first read. He's not looking for.
None whatsoever.
Quarterbacks throw to the guy that's open, by the way. And that's why Jerry Rice always had the ball. He was always open.
Yep.
Last guy, ADP number 59, and may not even be the main starter for the often befuddling backup or a backfield of the New England Patriots. Damian Harris. He's going off the board number 59. Wow.
Well,
I guess you need running backs.
They're hyping him up.
I mean, maybe
getting hyped.
He doesn't catch the ball. Sony Michel is right alongside of him. Cam Newton runs in more. They run it. They was a team that quarterback ran more touchdowns than he threw. I think, right? Wasn't it?
And they got James White as the third.
Right.
Down back.
He'll get his 6 TDs.
He's the third down back. So he's not going to be third down back.
I got plenty more, but that's mine. Robert, fire away. I always write mine down. And again, who knows? We don't test each other, so there's a chance that we have some overlap.
I don't have as crazy a list as Ron does, but
what, you have more obvious guys?
No. I'll build it next week. I think we can probably do this every week where we keep building on who we're already talking about, and they're like, well, I just added this guy to the list. Right. I'm going to start with Big Ben. There's no way in the world I'm having Big Ben as my quarterback. I saw people taking him. Mostly a lot of leagues now got 2 quarterback leagues, right?
Yeah,
so
the super flex
quarterbacks. So you're talking about the top 20 quarterbacks. Would you call Big Ben a top 20 quarterback right now?
No.
I'm putting him at the fringe, very fringe of the top 20. So in a 2-quarterback league, he is not starting. We'll talk when we do a little review of the Pittsburgh team. I got some stats on Big Ben. He just wasn't driving the ball down the field last year, and I think he might be done.
I think he might be done. But that's why you want Deontay Johnson and Juju, because they're going to get 90
Oh,
balls from 5 yards.
It's going to be dink and dunk and let the
And
defense
Deontay Johnson's got some rack. He can get by guys.
And they're going to let their defense kind of dictate what happens. But Big Ben, don't draft him. There's better options.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay backfield.
That sounds fair.
I'm out. I saw Jones and Fournette both in that, top, like at the fringe of the top 25. Because you know why? Everybody's all excited they won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Oh, Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. Oh, these guys got to be good. Look at their stats. They have way too much of a timeshare. And Tampa Bay is a throwing team. They're not a running team.
Not with that.
They run by by necessity. Brady is the thrower. They got the 3 receivers in Gronk.
The projections they have for Ronald Jones Jr. are pretty ridiculous.
And they got Gio now. Gio's going to be
Gio Bernard.
You don't think Tom Brady's going to utilize Gio as a third round back, going to catch at least 40, 50 balls? So Jones and Fournette are not going to catch the ball. They're not going to be third down backs. I mean,
it's like they've
stay away.
It's like they've got the Senior Bowl on the entire team.
But
they've got so many depth. They've got so much depth. They go, well, you don't play a third of the game, O.J. Howard, and you play a third of the game, Gronk, and
you talk about a team that's not dependent on young players or rookies.
They could do it again too. I mean, they got a great defense.
They have built a team of veteran football players who know how to play football. A lot of the teams are going to struggle because these rookies and these second-year players just aren't where they're going to be eventually.
I might draft Tom Brady.
What's that?
I know Trish just fell out of her chair.
Crazy
I know.
Again.
That's
Ron, were you drinking before the game?
I might
Were
draft
you
Tom
drinking
Brady.
before the show?
No,
okay.
I might have to.
Well, that's good. But wow.
I know. I'm not a big fan.
Tom Brady.
But now he's got all these guys. Okay.
I know I'm getting I'm not trying to get lazy, but all New York Giants.
I got you.
Every New
scratching
York
the
Giant.
team.
Ingram.
I thought of it.
Galladay. Slayton. Shepard.
Booker.
Barkley.
Jones. Ingram.
Skip.
You say Ingram?
Ingram.
Ingram twice. Ingram 3 times.
I'm skipping all this nonsense. It's all nonsense.
That's
You
funny.
think you can get
I
some-
said they were the worst team. And he won't.
Oh my God, you are so correct. The coach is. He does not know. He's going to get fired, so you might as well. He's the new Gase. He's my new Gase. Adam Gase is now Joe Judge.
Maybe that's why Saquon's got that look like, man, these guys stink, and I'm
if
with
you're
them.
Barkley, are you gonna
Right?
put your career
That could
on
be
the line
it.
and come
That
back
could totally be
for
it.
this nonsense?
That could be it. You know what I mean? The guy knows he's got talent. I go, these guys aren't going to protect me. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't even know these people.
Why am I hurrying back for this? We're gonna be like 2 and I don't know.
Who?
What
Daniel,
whatever
who?
record I had him.
I got
Daniel Jones.
Daniel, who? I got 2 nickels here. I mean,
They're developing.
so I'm sad
bad.
too because I wanted to see Daniel Jones
I know.
do well.
He started. Remember that he had that 4 touchdown game,
Right, and he was running the ball. He was running around.
and everybody's like, "Wow, Daniel Jones." No, not good.
He's more like Mrs. Jones.
I'm going back to an old favorite. I'll say it every year, and nobody will ever listen. Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, see. In my world, he goes without saying. He's not even. There's no year. These are guys that are year dependent. Odell Beckham Jr. is every year
I saw somebody
undraftable.
today saying how he's one of their sleepers and blah 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 blah. And I said, "Are you insane? Did you get hit in the head?"
Cleveland may run the ball second most in the league.
I got something on Odell.
You got some stats?
Stat time. Of his last 80 games that he could play, how many has he played?
80 games? No, not even half.
No, I'm saying his last 80 eligible games, how many has he played?
Half.
40 exactly.
Wow, a guess. An absolute guess.
His touchdowns 0, 3, 6, 4, 3 in the last 5 years. And people are drafting this guy as a high 2. Because why?
Give me the damn ball.
Cleveland, that and the name. They remember when he was with the Giants when he was good.
The rookie season was the season.
It was the season, and everybody's hyped up again on the Browns because they work good last year. Mayfield looked good. The team, they got a really good team.
Good defense.
So good defense, good solid team all around. We'll talk about when we talk about Cleveland. But Beckham is being. I'll tell you the player you should draft on Cleveland. It's not that hard. I shouldn't tell you on the show, but I'm going to give it to you. It's going to be my gift to the world. There's a wide receiver on Cleveland you should be drafting that's not named Landry or Beckham. Anyway.
Ooh.
But
Have I had him before on my team?
Maybe. I don't know.
RH?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a different name. Anyway, the point is, what was the point? Beckham.
Gork.
I see people. I saw some guy today. He was like, I could see Beckham having an all-pro type season again. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Can I be in your league? Sign
years?
up. Just ask to be in their league.
How many years do people, when they're going to just go, I did read somebody, they were writing a blurb about Beckham, and they're like, I think I just woke up and realized he's not that good. I went,
yeah.
Oh.
Well, his legs got hurt. He's slow. You can't if you can't run, you can't get open. So
hey, I'm not gonna go run patterns.
Me either.
Right now, but I'm not getting drafted as a high wide receiver too. So
I agree.
And then guy I talked about last week, don't get caught. I'm gonna say don't draft any rookie quarterbacks.
Oh.
As starters, as your second quarterback in a league where you got to start a second quarterback.
But maybe Trey Lance is your last.
Trey Lance
as your last
potential.
guy.
Justin Fields, of course. I'm not stupid. He's going to play at some point. But, and I'm going to say it, who's the number one guy not to draft? Trevor Lawrence. Oh, my God.
Trevor Lawrence.
I said it last week before Urban Meyer said it, that he said it's a competition and Minshew's going to get playing time and their competition and Lawrence isn't guaranteed to start. They said Urban Meyer's it's got a little Pete Carroll in him. He wants to run the ball. He doesn't want to throw the ball.
That's one of my sleepers there too.
I get the running back situation.
I like James.
But Trevor Lawrence is going to get overdrafted. Somebody's going to take him as their number 2 quarterback, either backup or start him as the number 2 quarterback in 2-quarterback league, and they're going to be very, very, very disappointed because he's just going to struggle. He's on a team. I don't think Urban Meyer knows the pro game, and he's going to have too much hype. I hope he gets tempered. Gotcha. I hope you don't make a mistake. Don't draft him.
Gotcha.
It's not going to be the next Justin Herbert. It's not going to happen. He was such an anomaly as a rookie quarterback that you wouldn't believe how
it's not going to go that way.
It's not going to happen again. It's not the norm. It's the exception. And
good for him too. It was really fun.
Great,
fun to watch.
Great player.
I want him so bad.
Oh, outstanding last year. But look at the rookies. Wilson from the Jets. Lawrence.
Tua's pretty much a rookie.
Fields not going to start. Lance, you don't know if he's going to start. Mac Jones is probably not going to start right away. So you got to be really careful with those rookie quarterbacks.
Cool beans. Fire away.
I'm done.
Okay, great. I didn't know that you.
That was my exciting list.
That's a great list. It really is.
Okay.
I got you. All right, let's get into one of the conference games. We're going to the AFC North first, including Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati. The format here is we're going to talk about each team, player movement, how we feel about rookie involvement here, and where we're at. Pitts, really any player movement there would be the rookie Najee Harris, which Robert and I both agree is for sure getting overdrafted if he's getting drafted before the third round, at the very least. Pittsburgh's got a very tough schedule as well as a not very good offensive line. So It's going to be dink and dunk for Ben. That's why we think Juju and Deontay is going to get a bunch of catches, but I just don't see this team. They got obviously what they got. They got a fantastic coach, maybe the top coach in the NFL. Can he toughen these guys up and make them a winner again? I guess so. But again, Najee is the only addition. No subtractions except for maybe tight end. But they haven't had a viable tight end for is it Vanette or whatever they need.
You don't call Eric Ebron
I guess
viable?
No. I'm not right. I wouldn't say.
I think he just dropped a pass. Oh wait. He's just not consistent. He just is not a consistent tight
No.
end. He's so big and fast.
I think Claypool's such a talent, but I think he's going to get wasted a little bit without because the guy can't throw it deep.
Let's talk about Big Ben.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to jump in. All the things Ron said. The offensive line, very shaky. They didn't upgrade the offensive line. You know, not the rap on Najee Harris coming out of college was he's not very shifty. He doesn't have that next gear. He needs a hole. He needs space. And are the Steelers going to be able to open up space for him? I think he's going to get a little bit overdrafted. I think, where do people got him? Like 15th?
I've seen him go,
sometimes 10, 11 there.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I think that's a little high for a rookie playing on a team that is probably going to be defensive oriented and kind of a ball control type team.
I agree.
Why are they going to be a ball control team? Big Ben could not get the ball downfield last year.
Yeah, Juju, 8 yards a catch or something for Juju.
I'm going to give you stat time.
Stat time.
Claypool, 62 catches, 873 yards. Juju, 97 catches, 831 yards.
That's hard to do.
8.6 yards per catch.
That's hard.
That is insane. And then Johnson was 88 catches, 923. They had two guys over 88 catches, and neither one of them got 1,000 yards.
That's almost impossible.
It's like
that's catching the ball and falling down.
It's just like, I know, I challenged someone, and I said, well, Big Ben, I think his arm is done. He's like, oh no, it was hurt going into last year, but this year he says it feels better. Okay, so it's miraculously going to get aged less, and it's going to get better. No, it's not. All three of those receivers will probably be kind of overhyped because everybody's like, ooh, I like all
love those
names.
Catches. They'll get 100. They'll get
It's
7 touchdowns. That'll be
think-
great number 3 wide receiver.
I don't think Big Ben's going to have the arm to utilize those guys, and I think they're going to get over. I'd rather have a number 2 or 3 from a passing team with a good young quarterback versus I'd rather have Mike Williams from the Chargers than any of those 3 guys. As the number 2 behind Keenan Allen, I take those. I'd put him right with Johnson, right with Claypool, and I take him ahead of Juju.
Bam.
Boom. Mike Williams. Why? Young quarterback. Really no challenge beyond Keenan Allen for catches. So I look at it that way. Pittsburgh's going to get a little overdrafted because everybody's like all excited. People love the Steelers. People love them. So
they do. Oh my gosh, Steel Curtain. Well, because they had
got name recognition and Big
Steel Curtain,
and they seem bigger than life, and everybody remembers the Steelers from the '70s and the whole Steel Curtain and the terrible towels and all that crap. But
certainly a draft-worthy defense if you're interested.
Without a doubt. I mean, they're a top 5 defense.
This whole division looks good, except for Cincinnati.
This division looks good. I mean, you got Baltimore and Cleveland as playoff teams, and Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh just missed the playoffs.
Oh, wait, no, they got in and lost the first game. Remember, they snuck in.
That's right.
They won their first 10, then they lost their next 6 or something. And just got something crazy.
Right.
Awesome.
But I mean, just not. This ain't. I would love to see them upgrade the quarterback position. I don't understand that.
Well, it's Haskins, I guess. He did a little something, and then Rudolph. But Haskins I know we don't want him. No. Baltimore. What do we got? Killer D again. Justin Tucker's not the best kicker anymore, by the way.
Sorry, hold on.
Oh, I'm not.
I got Pittsburgh at 7 and 10.
7? Oh, that's right. Wow.
They're going to struggle. I mean, Cleveland and Baltimore got better rosters and better quarterbacks. And I think the Bengals are going to give them a little run if Joe Burrow.
7 and 10.
I got them at 7-10. They got a really hard. They played 10 playoff teams from the year before.
That's amazing.
They got a tough schedule.
That's always good to know.
Yep.
Baltimore additions: Sammy Watkins, this Rashad Bateman, and that's about it on the offensive side. Yep. We still got Hollywood Brown. We still got Andrews, and we got maybe less of a two-headed monster here with the Dobbins and Edwards. Right. I saw an interview with J.K. Dobbins today, by the way, and he looked really solid. He talked about guys being hungry. He talked about not only wanting to be a good player and a starter, but he wants to be a star.
Yes.
And I gotta stop.
Stop.
Okay, I'm done. I'm hearing you.
I mean, the hype machine.
It's coming. I mean, it's coming.
I mean,
it got
we know.
quick.
Here's a newsflash: Baltimore is going to run the ball.
Right.
And the newsflash: they don't want Lamar Jackson to get killed.
And he had 9 touchdowns, and he took over the second half, and 6 of those touchdowns were in that second half. So he's the lead guy now. Gus is an amazing player for his size. I can't believe how many yards he gets untouched sometimes. I'm like, you look like Jerome Bettis after a few light lunches, but still, well, he's not as big. He's big.
He can move. I mean, he's a big guy who can move. I mean,
and then they got rid of all those other guys behind that. This is still, those guys.
And
So I like Dobbins. Are you taking Gus for sure as a backup? In that case, just because if you tie yourself to Dobbins,
it depends on my roster's kind of what value I could get later on. If it comes down to the backup for somebody else versus, I would take Gus Edwards. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Right.
Quarterback Lamar Jackson, COVID back. Again, 171 yards a game passing, but he had over how many rushing? 1,000? Was he?
Yeah, he went over 1,000.
Again, he runs them in. Again, you're always worried about those running quarterbacks. I've never drafted him, even in a mock draft, by the way.
I've never had.
I haven't. He's not my kind of player. I want a guy that throws the ball, not runs it. But he's great. I am going to. Rashad Bateman is in the hunt for one of my last draft picks in the draft. I like him. I do. I think he's a good. He's got a lot of talent. They're talking up Watkins.
Bateman a little behind schedule.
Right.
He's been banged up in training camp.
That's why it would be he won't get drafted. He's not going to get drafted, guys. So don't even worry about it.
Right.
Don't be going, well, Harlow, don't draft him. He's going to be a waiver. I have a unique lucky, I guess. I'm going to say it's lucky. I do well. This last pick has won me some championships.
I mean,
Julius Thomas, James Robinson last year.
I picked up Justin Jefferson in the first week off waivers.
It was a 14th round Mahomes. It was a 14th round Antonio Gates. Then they never go there again. You know what I mean? You get those.
We're gonna obviously talk about this as we go into the season. Week 1 and 2 could be the two biggest waiver.
They always are. The week 1's always a star you missed. Always a star.
Some team that wins the Super Bowl will pick up a player and you'll go, oh, he picked that guy up right at the beginning of the season. I was not sleeping. And he made the move, and you get the benefit.
I'm not kidding when I say I have guy. I have guys that always draft some crappy guy at the end just because they know I'm going to get one. I'm not going to keep him anyway. I'm going to get a new guy.
We still play kickers in our league. My buddy, he won't draft a kicker.
No.
He'll draft as many players as he can, and then he'll be like,
up to the draft.
I'll deal with the kicker later. One of these guys might pan out. So that goes back to draft strategy. Pick as many guys as you can, and then see what happens.
Every draft position is important. Kickers and D's at the end. I'm not kidding. Very close. You better be deep in every spot before I'm taking a kicker and a D. Again, Baltimore killer, another very top defense. What do you got them going at?
I got them at 11.
Winning division.
I got them 11-6. They're going to tie Cleveland.
Okay, let's go to Cleveland. We gave them some love. We're not big on Landry. We're not big on OBJ. My only guess is we're going to have to go with Austin Hooper.
No.
I don't know anybody else on that. Wait, no. Oh, wait a minute. That's the guy that's got the hyphen. The hyphen. The hyphen? Something Peoples Jones.
He did not win the Heisman.
No, he's got a hyphen in his name.
Oh, a hyphen.
Hyphen. F. Not the Heisman. A hyphen. No, what's this? Something that Peoples Jones guy. Is that it?
Peoples Jones.
That guy was catching some passes the other night, boy.
I'm going to talk to you about Peoples Jones.
All right.
They are hyped on Peoples Jones.
Peoples Jones.
Your boy RH.
Rashard Higgins.
Is going to be a free agent after the season. So Cleveland's kind of like, let's see what we got with Peoples over here. This dude came out of Michigan. He was 6'2", 212 out of Michigan. His 6th round pick. Why? Because when he went to Michigan, Jim Harbaugh.
They party.
I don't know. Jim Harbaugh, he had a shaky quarterback, not an offensive scheme where he could pass. He wasn't showcased. They said this guy is a star of camp. He's the most improved offensive player they have. When they go 3 wideouts, you're going to see this guy on the field. Now, when we talk about the injury history of Beckham, what does that mean? This guy could
It's a laundry list.
easily be like a number 2 quick on a Cleveland team. So do not sleep on Donald People-Jones.
I love it. What do you got?
They said he got great height, insane explosion, top speed fast, great leaping ability, gets off the line of scrimmage. I mean, this guy.
I watched the preseason. He looked good. He was catching some good balls.
And they're talking him up in camp.
So. And you know what? He showed flashes last year. He definitely showed flashes because we know the name. You know the name.
14 catches, 304, and 2 touchdowns. Last year he was not getting in on the 3 wide receiver packages because they were playing, like you said, they were playing Higgins or what's
Rashard Higgins.
Yeah. So
you're big on Chubb and you're a little lighter on Kareem Hunt. Is that correct?
Well, when we get now and later's.
Okay.
Hunt's a now.
Hunt's a now and get rid of him for later.
I'm going to tell you why. I hope when we get to that segment, I'll kind of break down the Hunt.
We may never get there, Robert. We're almost an hour in. I know. We got again. That's got to be part of this. I know it's 10.
When we get to that, I'll talk about Hunt and Chubb because last year, first 8 games, there was kind of this Hunt Chubb sharing thing. Last 8 games, mostly Chubb. So I think they'll probably follow that pattern this year. So if you want Hunt, you could get him. Don't expect a full year of production.
All right, either or. Kareem Hunt, Javonte Williams, and Teray Sermon.
Ooh. I would take the guy from Denver.
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I think Melvin Gordon is a lingering injury.
Is a burnt piece of toast.
Yeah, he's a little burnt, and I really like the running back Williams from.
Me too, and I liked what I saw. The eye test was great this weekend.
I mean, I like your
Denver scored 33 points or something. Some teams are scoring 0.
Everybody likes your boy from 49ers.
Yeah, Well, I think there's less of a path for Javonte, right? San Fran still got Gallman too. Gallman can play. Gallman can play. All right, you got Cincinnati at 11-6, another good D, very worth drafting.
Yep.
Last in the division, we gave the Bengals some love. We're not going on Trevor Lawrence. Obviously not going with their defense. I really like T. Higgins is my guy. I guarantee I drafted him in one league. I virtually guarantee you I will take T. Higgins. He knows I'm a Bengals fan. T. Higgins is the biggest guy at the wide receivers. He's going to be the number 1 option in my opinion. We like Tyler Boyd. We're slopped on Chase. If Mixon's there in the second round late, I am going to take him. But I want to take him along with Shamaji P. Ryan because I think Shamaji P. Ryan is if he takes over, there is absolutely nobody behind him.
Absolutely no one.
So if Mixon goes down, I think you have a very good chance to have at least a number 2.
Well, I think what they were talking about Mixon, we've all heard it. He's going to be a true third down back. They're going to let him catch passes. He's got better hands than they let on.
He could be the anchor. He could be that safe anchor with all these young guys. That he could be, and Bengals could surprise. I mean, they got to do it on offense, obviously.
Yeah, Burrow. Heard some shaky reports out of him out of training camp.
I watched the game and I didn't see it. I thought he looked better. He didn't look iffy to me.
I think he's gonna be okay, but man, you talk about he's got to play Baltimore, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh D
twice.
Times.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a biggie.
That's tough.
Right.
They got no options at tight end. There's nobody to speak of. So it's gonna be wide receiver and running back driven. So these guys are they got some definite fantasy juice on some of these guys. Burrow, would I take him as a second quarterback? Yes.
I would too.
Yes,
I would too. They're going to be throwing like crazy.
They're going to be throwing like crazy.
Remember those teams.
Defense still not that good.
Okay, moving on. Let's get to our next segment. It's going to be the must-haves. These are our top 10 players that are our must-haves in our lists. And then we're going to blast through the AFC East, and then we're going to take our first break. Robert, I'm going to give you a chance to start this time. Take it away. Again, must-haves are guys you're reaching for. Or like, boy, if there's a choice between these 2 guys, it's definitely him.
Right.
Or again, I'm going.
I wouldn't say I've gone like deep into the abyss. But
like I did. Again, I went pretty deep.
But these are like Ron said. These are guys
I really would like on my team.
This is the guy I want. Right.
Right.
I'm starting with Kyle Pitts from Atlanta.
Starting with the Pitts.
I'm
Now,
starting with Pitts.
we've been talking Pitts this
I got him
week.
ahead of Andrews. I got him in front of Hawkinson. You know,
He's number 3 for you then. He's number 3 tight end.
Sorry, but I'm thinking Kittle, Pitts. I think at the end of it all, you're gonna go. I would have took Pitts. I mean, he's huge, 6'6", 246.
And they're gonna
Second
throw.
option behind Ridley. You know, we talked about last week that Arthur Smith, the new coach for Atlanta, used to be the tight end coach and offensive coordinator in Tennessee, where he created Jonnu Smith, coached him up, made him an all-pro tight end. He's going to do the same thing with Pitts. They said he can't be covered. He screens out smaller men. You can't cover him with safety. You can't cover him with a linebacker.
What round are you going to take him in? To get him for sure, it has to be the 4th. And you may not even get him there. You may not get him there if it's late in the 4th.
Well, you figure you know how things are going. Kelsey, Waller, and then somebody's going to jump at Kittle the first 2 rounds. So you're into that 3rd. So, yeah, by the early 4th, you probably got to get into Pitts action. Now, he's getting hyped up, and we'll see what
you know he's going to get some preseason ball, so we're going to see it.
I must have this man on my team.
I get you. Okay, fire away.
My next guy, CeeDee Lamb. We talked about it. I love him. I take him over Scary Terry, Allen Robinson, A.J. Brown. I think it's all dependent on Prescott health. Of course, it's dependent on Prescott health. But if he's healthy, oh my God, I think he's going to have a huge season. Huge. He had a great season last year with crappy quarterbacks. 69 catches, 935. He had 5 touchdowns. And remember, he had a rushing touchdown, too. His route running, they said second to Cooper. They said they were doing an L.A. Rams scrimmage. He was breaking ankles. The Rams could not cover him. He was just he had Gail Gilbert throwing him passes, and he was still completing them because he was so wide open. It makes my heart flutter. Okay. Guy we talked about, J.K. Dobbins. I really like him. I would take him. All right. Who would you take him over? Najee Harris. I take him over Chris Carson. I take him over Barkley. I take him over Dave Montgomery. Yes.
But not over Antonio Gibson. It's pretty close. I knew it.
I got those guys kind of right there. But that's the kind of they're calling him a natural pass catcher in camp. They're talking about his hands. He's going RB17. I'm moving him up in the right, touching that back of that top 10, 11. Gus Edwards, like we talked about, big back, could be an option for carries, but I think this is the year Dobbins breaks out. Last year, stat time, the Baltimore ran the ball 555 times. That's an average of 35 times a game. There's no team in the NFL that averages 35 rushes a game. So he does. So our Baltimore does. He's going to get at least 15 to 20 touches a game. Big player. Another guy I like, your boy, T. Higgins. I think people are going to be running around taking chase. T. Higgins. I take him over Ayuk, DJ Moore. I like the passing game. I like the quarterback he's going to be playing with. I like that they're going to kind of be chasing points around. Right now he's going to average about 24 in most drafts. I'm moving him easily into the top 20. Last year, 67 catches, 908, and 6 touchdowns with the worst quarterbacks in the world.
And he didn't show until like week 4.
Right. He didn't really get – remember they weren't playing him because your boy A.J. Brown, A.J. Green was running around.
Right.
And, he's just huge. 6'4", 216.
I played him over – you wouldn't believe some of the names I played him over in my wide receivers last year. I said, because he kept – how could you say he scored a touchdown every week?
Joe Burrow
for a while then.
Stays healthy. This guy gets easy 10 touchdowns. Easy 10.
Love it.
Quarterback wise, it's not a big stretch, but a guy I really want, Justin Herbert. He's going about quarterback 7, but I like him. Personally, I take him over Kyle Murray and Russell Wilson. I'd move him into the top 5, top 4 type. Last year,
but you won't need to. That's what's great. You still won't need to.
4,336 yards last year, 31 touchdowns, 5 rushing, 66% completion. This year, they got a new offensive coordinator. He's going to have Eckler probably for the full season. They got Mike Williams. He's got Jared Cook running around, tight end.
That's
They're
right.
replacing Hunter Henry.
And they got the Guyton, and
they
they got
Keenan Allen.
oh,
They got a good team with a good defense.
new center, and they add another line
They
guy.
upgraded the offensive
That's
line
huge.
to protect him. I really like him.
Easy schedule. I like the Chargers whole team.
So I don't have a top 10. I have a top 5.
I love it. You know why? Because we are way behind.
Yeah, I know.
But
So
we're
you
loving
go
it.
ahead.
I don't know how we can do it any worse for you guys. It has to be entertaining too. We just can't go blah blah blah, right? It's got to be fun.
You must take J.K.
Must have. I got number 9, guys, and I'm going. I've already decided. I'm taking Travis. I got number 9 in the draft. I'm taking Travis Kelce at number 9. I know he's going to be there. I just know he's going to be there. I want Travis Kelce. He's just
number 9.
Number 9.
I can see that.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be Saquon. I can't do Jonathan Taylor. I can't do Eckler there because of the injury history. And I think again, Eckler versus like those early guys. If I get Kelce, at least I got a guy in a category that's above everybody else.
Where do you cut off those running backs? About 5, 6?
I'd probably done at Kamara and Elliott. I would take any of those up to those 5. Derrick Henry and Cook.
Right about 6, I go.
It's time for
Adams,
Hill,
or Kelce.
and it was going to be Diggs, but now not. Okay, Justin Jefferson. I have him as a top 5 wide receiver, so I think he again great quarterback. He's going to be the number 1. Again, we think he's going to be we think and know he's going to be the number 1 defended guy, but Thielen's still good enough. Irv Smith's good enough. Cook's good enough. These guys aren't slubs. You got to cover these guys too. So I think and I think the division, the Bears and is cakewalk for defense. Yeah, I think that I'll take all the wideouts in that division. Those guys.
I mean, Tampa Bay, we know they're a good team, but you only got to play them twice. And what does Minnesota do well? What really well? The play action.
Yes.
And that's that Cook play action. Jefferson, boop, single coverage. They play in their little dome. Well, they don't play in a dome anymore, do they? No, they play outside.
I was in the dome. Very weird how the doors open. And
forget about the dome.
The doors all open at the same time. Brother. You know that?
Yeah, I remember.
Very creepy.
I remember when the roof tried to fall in.
Very creepy weird.
Yeah, Jefferson's major talent.
I love him. Scary Terry McLaurin had him as a rookie. Didn't have him last year. We love Fitz. We think this team's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
He showed he could be a number 2. With probably some of the worst, again, lowest rating quarterbacks in the league. I think he's the alpha. There's no one. I mean, Curtis Samuel is more of a gadget wide receiver, in my opinion. The tight end isn't again. Logan Thomas is something, but he's not Scary Terry. I saw the first play of the game, by the way, the Washington, a little up and out with Terry over the seam, like 17 yards, right, I mean, wide open right there. I think he is waiting to be the next thing, like the next
He's got the talent.
Terrell Owens, the next Chad Johnson, the next.
You
never say Jerry Rose.
I was going to say, how do you put it? Would you take
either
or? Would you take Keenan Allen or Scary Terry?
Gosh,
I know.
That's a tough.
That's a choice you might have.
I'd probably go Scary Terry. Oh. I know. I probably would.
Than you.
I probably
That's
would.
a tough one.
I know because
tough choices.
Eckler I have next because I think the same reasons. He's a must-have because after those first 5 running backs, he's literally the next one.
Yeah, because
before you get to Dobbins and Gibson that I even want.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody. I don't want those in-betweeners. I don't really want Jonathan.
You want Aaron Jones?
No, I don't really want him. I don't want Jonathan Taylor. I don't want Jonathan Taylor. I don't want Saquon. Yeah. I mean, I like Jonathan Taylor, but that team sort of got me miffed. Again, their offensive line's something good, though, so don't run away from on that. I got Trey Sermon. Again, I don't think as a must-have. It has to do with where I'm getting it. It's usually a seventh round pick. Yeah, I'm talking 7th round. He's always there. I'm always like, I think that, again, they're showing a lot of strength by giving him a whole half a ball. They traded. I've never seen San Fran trade him for anything. They're close to the vest. How about this? Off the limb, Trey Lance, and then trading up for Sermon. It's the double Trey is what it was. That was pretty good. But again, he's big. He runs hard. That team runs the ball hard.
49ers know they got the Rams running around. They got Arizona running around.
The only thing is
Seattle running around. You can't just sit around and be 6-10 again.
If I get
6-11.
If I get Trey Sermon as my number 3, I feel like I'm going to be really happy.
Oh, absolutely.
I also have Justin Herbert down. Moving on, I have Brandon Ayuk because of the fact I don't think Deebo Samuel can stay healthy. No. I believe in this team. I think Ayuk got 2 end arounds in their game and looked fast. Got 9 yards on both times. His rookie season was outstanding, but also with some injuries. They lost Kendrick Bourne. Kittle's a little but I think Brand of those two. I mean, Deebo Samuel could very easily have as good a game. I like Brandon. Okay. Yeah. All right, here's my 3 again. Robert's going, what the heck are you talking about here? I'll bet. I got Cortland Sutton next, and I'll tell you why. He's 6'4". Whoa. When I saw him play as a rookie, I said, this guy's the next thing. Now, we haven't seen him for a year. We haven't seen Cortland Sutton for a year. And again, it's where I'm getting him. He's my number 3 or number 4. I think he's perfect at that. One of those 2 quarterbacks are going to throw the ball a decent amount. Again, they're one of my surprise teams. Denver's going to have the ball a little bit more, I think, because their defense is a little bit better.
Think about the Denver team. Think about it. Let's just say, let's be in the what-if Marvel world.
Yes.
What if Aaron Rodgers went to Denver? They got Judy, Sutton,
KJ Hamler,
who
scored an 80-yard touchdown,
Tim Patrick, and Noah Fant. Oh, my gosh.
Not bad, guys,
they
really.
They have built a offensive passing team
with no passer.
With no passer.
That makes you'd think they would have done something.
Like, I don't know what that means.
I think Cortland Sutton could also be the next big thing. He's hurt though. Huge. I've had him on my list all this time, so I've hung through the injury. He could be dropped, obviously, off this list if his injury doesn't turn around. Another guy from Atlanta I have as a must. I'm going to get him for peanuts on the dollar. Russell Gage. Has anybody said any word about Russell Gage at all this year to you? I'll bet not. Again, he's going to be the number 3. I agree. But he's always been that. When he's played outside wide, filling in for Julio or Ridley, whoever it is, he's serviceable. He's absolutely worth a roster spot. He's my number 5 or number 6.
Russell Gage,
number wide receiver.
70 catches, quietly 800 yards, and
he's
7-8 touchdowns.
He's a journeyman who knows the game. He hasn't left his team ever. He knows he's a no name. He's not getting drafted in any mock drafts in the top 15 rounds that I've seen. I think that, again, a team that throws the ball, horrible defense. Again, you could do worse for a number 5.
Oh, absolutely.
Then the last guy, Marvin Jones Jr. I draft him in every mock draft because he's right there at the end, by the way.
Yeah.
If you weren't talking about those 3 guys, I'm going Marvin Jones, Chalk, Laviscus. I think Laviscus looks like sort of a chubby tight end. He doesn't really fit the mold of a football player to me. And I think that Travis Etienne takes over some of Laviscus' role because Laviscus, in my opinion, not really working out as growing as a player. A lot of folks are saying that Laviscus is the sleeper on this team. I disagree. Marvin Jones played with this offensive coordinator for the last 2 years already. Marvin Jones is the only player with 9 touchdowns the last 3 years or something. That was a weird stat about that. It never gets talked about. You're going to get him as your 5 or 6, and you're going to go, again, team's going to throw. They got the rookie's going to throw some guns. Who's he going to throw it to? The guy that has a little more experience getting open.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and this is a good example. Jacksonville's a perfect example. When you get a new coach, they don't care about the guys who are there. They didn't draft those guys. They're not like, well, I can't look stupid not playing my draft picks or giving my draft pick chances. They don't care about these guys. They did not draft them. So when you bring in a Marvin Jones, you're sending a message to the guys who are there, like, I really don't care about you guys.
Right. So that's my list. Let's get through the AFC East. Then we're going to take a quick breather. We usually would and then we're going to blast through our last 3 segments, I guess, when we get back. We're firing on all cylinders. Again, AFC East starts with Buffalo. Their changes are few, but what do you think? You said Emmanuel Sanders. What's his name? Gabriel Davis probably takes a little step forward. But pretty much the rest of the team is the same. John Brown gone. He wasn't a factor really anyway.
No factor.
Diggs a top 3 wideout last year. Broke some records, I believe, in a couple categories, or pretty darn close. Yep. Got a groin. Don't forget, this is a bad weather team. They always got to think bad weather team. Devin Singletary, pretty nice preseason game, but they're saying they're leaning towards Moss. If anything's going to happen, that Moss will be the guy that gets something. But that's probably an avoid. Again, like OBJ, they're just like a sort of an automatic avoid. We're not supposed to need to tell you
They
that one,
could
right?
be-
Would you agree? You should already know
Right.
that
They could be the
you're
AFC,
avoiding
they could
Buffalo's
be the
running
AFC
game.
version of Fournette and Ronald Jones.
Yes,
They're like their version. Like, I don't know. They're like two guys
two guys.
on a passing team that you don't know who's going to get the majority of the carries.
Another sleeper though.
Uh-oh.
We gotta get. If he gets the 7 touchdowns with his 80 catches, and the quarterback loves him, draft Cole Beasley with your last.
Cole Beasley.
Draft him. He gets 5 or 6 catches a game. He's like Danny Amendola. If he gets to 7 touchdowns, he is Danny
The
Amendola.
reason I'm laughing at Cole Beasley because Cole Beasley,
He should have been out of the league 5 years ago. Yes, we know that.
he's a fine wide receiver if he would just shut up.
Was he a mouthy guy? I don't know.
Oh my God. He got into it with his teammate about the vaccination.
Oh, geez.
And
See,
then,
I don't read that stuff.
I know, but Mark Cuban was talking about.
We got to do a segment, like you said. We got to
giving him stock, and he got into it when Mark Cuban started. And I'm telling you, if it comes down to a roster spot, do you want to keep a guy around that annoys the rest of the team? I don't know.
That's a
So
good
it's
point.
something to think about.
I got you. What do you got Buffalo at? I got a good
I got
defense.
Good defense. I mean, New England, Miami, the Jets. Are they gonna, go to the Super Bowl? No.
Buffalo's gonna win this
Buffalo
division.
13-4.
13.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Keeps developing. They got the team. They got a top 10 defense.
I take him at the end of 4 and 5 once in a while because they have the back-to-back there sometimes.
I like Josh Allen.
He's gone there quite a bit
I love
too.
his arm. I
Yeah,
know
he's
sometimes
gonna
he's a
run it.
little inaccurate. He does dumb things, but man, the way he throws the ball.
Rock and roll. All right, Miami is the next team. Tua taking over. I saw a couple decent passes, but I'm really my friend Robert has talked me off the Will Fuller ledge on several occasions, and I think that I'm safe now. I've got my 2-year Will Fuller freak chip right here in my pocket. He's suspended for the first game.
Yeah,
it's the wrong quarterback for Will Fuller, right? For sure.
Is Will Fuller hurt? Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
suspended.
he is, and he's suspended.
And he's suspended. He is hurt and suspended?
Yeah, he's not
Okay.
practicing.
Oh, he's not.
What?
His butt's hurt then. I got you. Okay, but I'm not drafting him. I'm not drafting Parker. I told you I'm drafting Jalen Waddle for just the first week when he's suspended because they play Detroit, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a good game out of Jalen Waddle.
And he gets second.
The big news that broke my heart today is the news out of the backfield there in Miami that we started the show with. Gaskin, maybe if Carter a 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him in the 7th round if he's there or something. I'm sure. He won me a Super Bowl last year.
He had 41 catches last year.
He won me a Super Bowl. I got to give him some love. So, what do you got Miami doing? I'll just move this one along quick.
I got them at 9-8. They got a pretty solid defense. They're just gonna be a 500 team. And really quick, Brian Flores, the coach of the Dolphins. You know what they said he was in the draft room like this, pounded the table saying we should not take Tua, we should take Justin Herbert.
Oh my gosh, you're
and
kidding.
he's told the GM, I'm telling you, this is the guy we should take. And the GM said no, that the owner said we got to take Tua. That's really good. Really good stuff.
Hey, I'm a Bears fan. We got Trubisky over Mahomes, and well, I guess nobody really wants to show Deshaun Watson anymore.
Yeah,
he's trouble.
Self-destructed.
He's trouble. Okay,
self-destructed.
Who's up next? New England. I got a couple things I want to say about New England.
I can't wait.
I'm not drafting Cam. I'm not drafting Mac, but they both could be serviceable on a bye because of what they can do, in my opinion. Yeah. Again, I thought Jonnu Smith and Henry might be doing something. They're both injured at this moment. The guy I want to talk about is Jacoby Myers. Again, undrafted player, came out to get like 700 yards in the second half last year.
Yeah, he really came out in the second half.
If these guys are hurt, there's nobody else out there. And I'm not a big N'Keal Harry guy. No. I never have been. So if you're gonna shoot for somebody on that team, anybody, because I don't want the running backs either. So I'm not kidding you. Jacoby Myers is the only draftable player that I see on the team.
Well, they got Aguilar and Bourne, but
I forgot. We love Kendrick Bourne.
I really, if I knew Mac Jones was going to play 13 games, it would be a different dynamic on the passing, right?
Absolutely.
But Cam Newton, he's on my avoid. I think I got him on I got Mac Jones on my later list when we get to it. So Newton is not a passing. I think he threw for 8 touchdowns last year.
Did you
He
hear
threw
this?
for 8 touchdowns. That's
He-
impossible.
I saw the state. His contract, folks, is like $2.2 million a year, which is less than the backup QBs. If he wasn't on New England, they're basically saying he would not be in the NFL.
He wouldn't be in the NFL. I don't think another team would
They
pick
would
him up
just based
unless
on the
it was
salary.
unless it was a huge necessity. I mean, they got Hunter Henry, Janu Smith, Aguilar Bourne, James White. They got Harry, N'Keal Harry, and Jacoby Myers. They got the makings, and they got Josh Daniels running around. I'm telling you, when we get to the laters, Mac Jones is going to play on this team.
Mac Jones, baby.
He's going to play. When Belichick thinks he's ready, he's going to play. You have a team built for passing with no passer. It feels like Denver a little bit. Denver light.
Denver light. Decent defense or no? I mean, New England usually is supposed to have
got
one.
Guys coming back. They had like 3 or 4 guys not play because of COVID. They came back. Hightower's back. They got a good defense. You know, the division, Miami and the Jets. They could give, Belichick gives Buffalo fits. I got them 8-9.
8-9. All right.
500 type team.
Last team, we gave them some love. We talked about the Jets a little bit earlier. Player movement, again, new quarterback traded Sam Darnold away to Carolina. Robbie Anderson groin, by the way, in Carolina. Did I say that? I don't think I did. Robbie Anderson injured, and groins linger. But I like Robbie Anderson still. It's Zach. It's Corey Davis and Zach Wilson, the new gun. You know my man Jamison Crowder's still there. I didn't see him. I didn't see him play in the preseason. I didn't see him play in the preseason.
They got Mims, they got Davis, Crowder, and they got the rookie Elijah
Moore. And he's hurt right now. But he's
gonna be the star.
He's back in practice too, by the way. I just didn't say him because I didn't think he was a factor as of just yet. The running game. We'll get to the running game in now and later, but
I'm with you on
Ty Johnson started to play a whole bunch. I think that's a bad thing for Ty Johnson, in my opinion. I think it's going to be Tevin Coleman out of the gate until his leg breaks, and then the new guy.
Yeah, they said Coleman and Carter are going to play it all. When we talk about laters, we'll be talking about Carter.
Right on. What do you got? The Jets winning a few this year or no?
I got the Jets being better because, the new coach, they got rid of the Gase Master.
Where's he at right now? On a beach somewhere?
I hope he's somewhere laughing. He collected all that money for being
Gase got the money in the case.
Yeah, he's laughing somewhere anyway.
We did have some good laughs with him last year.
Yeah.
Sorry to see you go.
He was something else. But I got him at 6-11. I think they could beat, they could win some of the games against Miami and New England, and I think they're going to be a lot better. I think they're going to be a better team, especially defensively.
I agree. I think they can't possibly be worse.
No, they're not going to be worse.
With these guys, there's a new home mentality. This is a new group.
They're gonna have a new feeling. They got the nucleus. Zach Wilson's a talent. I mean, he can throw the ball, but he's a rookie.
All right, 7:15. We'll be back for 3 more segments. The 2 other teams in the AFC and a segment we're calling Now and Later. It's a very unique segment that you need to watch. Here's a word from our sponsors. Be right back on Behind the Lines. Here's our friends from Apex Construction and Humane, Indiana.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has 4-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
Baxter Printing is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Lake County, Indiana for over 50 years. They specialize in commercial and political printing like brochures, mailings, banners, and signs. Now located at 311 North Broad Street in Griffith, the folks at Baxter know how to get your job done right and on time. Call 219-923-1999 or visit us at BaxterPrint.com and see what Baxter Printing can do for you.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
All right. That's a great one. It's a great song called Find a Way from a local group called Stern Approval. That's some other spot. We got some other sponsors coming in if you'd like. Again, if you're locally here, obviously. Jeff Tetlow is the man with Springer Realty. We love Humane, Indiana right here in Munster. And Baxter Printing can help you anywhere around the world. Design, print, and mail. 923-1999-219 is the number there. And a quick shout out to one of our local businesses because we wanted to mention it. Our friends Bridges. I don't have the exact date in my head. Bridges Scoreboard, where they have sponsored our first season here, and they probably would again. I just haven't asked. A great Griffith Sports Pub coming to a signing, I believe, this Sunday. Darnell Mooney.
Wow.
Yep. They get a lot of good guys,
Super
by the way.
cool.
They had Rodman come like 5 times.
Yeah.
And they were like playing cards with Rodman by the end. All good friends. All right, let's get into it. This is the time for the AFC South, which I didn't even write down the right things for that one. But we'll start with the team that won the division. Again, I'm glad I have this here because for some reason it's not here. Tennessee additions. Julio Jones. Big addition.
That's a big addition. They got Josh Reynolds from the Rams, too.
Josh Reynolds from the Rams to be their number 3.
Right.
And he was the number 3 for the Rams for quite a few years there. Right. We were, again, Derrick Henry is what he is, guys. He's a barrel. He's a man. He trains like no other. He's going to have to prove me wrong, I think.
I mean, everybody gets hung up in the PPR and he doesn't catch a lot of passes. But, man, can you depend on anybody else to get coming close to 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns? No.
And he gets some long ones, too, for a big guy.
And in some leagues now, a lot of leagues now, you get bonuses for 40-plus touchdown plays. So, I mean, Derrick Henry's, he's getting drafted right where he should be.
3 or number 4. Somewhere.
Right. Yeah, right 3, there. 4, 5. I mean, you could just kind of write it down what he's going to do.
Some fantasy folks talk about, well, they got a great running back. I don't want the wide receivers. No, I want good on everywhere. I want good everywhere because I want everybody to be able to have to be guarded. I don't want anybody to get stacked up.
They're a team just like Minnesota with that
play. They got loaded. They're loaded.
Play action to Henry. What's everybody going to do? Freeze AJ and Julio. And it's going to be, I hope they have a very friendly competition. Could they turn into a, what was the other guy with Jake Reed in Buffalo? Moss Reed. Oh, no, you're talking about
Buffalo. Jake Reed and the other guy. I think there was 2 Jakes, wasn't it? It was a Jake and a Jake.
Yeah.
They were solid, but I think that this is a running team in general.
You can have 2 good receivers on one team.
I agree. They're all going to be.
There's enough throw.
They're all going to be gone in the 4th round. But Julio has slipped though. I mean, Julio again was a late 2nd rounder or early.
I think he's burned. Many people have a recency bias.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got that. I got burned by Julio. He didn't play 4 games. He said he was going to play. He never scores touchdowns.
That's why we got Ridley.
All the things about Julio.
Give him the Ridley. We give him the Ridley bell. Oh, jeez. That was a big Ridley bell. Sorry about that. Wait, let me get this down for you.
I think if you get Julio at a good spot, you get him. But I think people are overpaying for the name.
Yeah, I mean, if you want him, I want him as a late number 2. I don't want him as an early number 2 wide receiver. I can tell you that right now.
Late 2. And then if you got you're drafting the top tight end, 2 good 3 running backs, then you come into a Julio. But a lot of people stretch for him it's their second wide receiver, just a name recognition, which is a mistake.
And we think A.J. Brown might be getting a little overdrafted only because of Julio being there. They don't have much of a tight end, right? That was the Fisker. This is our Fisker. Firkser.
They say he's going to, I don't think he'll set the world on fire, but he might be like a streamer or a plug and play.
Right.
Like top 15 kind of
and
guy.
not a very good defense. So
they did not do much to improve their defense. You got Indy and Houston. Well, they got Houston and Jacksonville. So
yeah, Tennessee gets to play some pretty decent teams here. Yeah. Indy's got a good deal. Let's go to Indy. Wait, what do you got Tennessee going at?
I got them at 11-6.
Wow.
I think with the running game and Tannehill and the receivers,
they were fun to watch. They come back kings last year, weren't they? I mean, they did some crazy stuff against Minnesota. I think twice.
I think they got 4. They got 4 wins with Houston and Jacksonville.
Yeah, so that's 4.
They're already 4-0. So
it's a nice casino.
They only got to go 7-6 against the rest of the league. So
Right on. Let's go to the Crazy Colts. This Eason guy looks good. This Eason guy looked pretty good. He looked okay.
Jacob Eason.
What do you think? I mean, are you T.Y. Hilton's still but everybody wants the Pittman, and I mean,
everybody loves that second year.
They love the Michael Pittman. Again, the running backs, they've got Mac's back. Naheem Hines is back. Jonathan Taylor, God, he played great the second half.
I think Hines will be kind of that third down back, and Mac will be the spell Taylor.
Taylor's going to continue to have to score from far out to get those big yardage.
Yeah. But that's today's NFL.
Yes, it is.
They got the three-headed monster type thing. Is Mac going to stay healthy? Always yet to be determined. They got Jack Doyle who can't run.
Jack Doyle.
We might get in a race with Jack Doyle, and he probably would beat us, but not by much. So, I mean, they got the receivers. They got my boy Paris Campbell. You remember him? He's coming back from injury. People are probably overdrafting Pittman a little because they like Pittman over Hilton. Because, you like that young, hot...
and he showed flashes.
And he showed flashes, and he's showing flashes in camp. What does this all depend on? Carson Wentz. Healthy. When's he going to come back? Is it week 1? Is it week 2? Is he going to be healthy? Is the foot thing going to linger?
Can we talk about what we think Carson might have in his favor by joining the Colts? One for sure is a better offensive line.
Better offensive line, absolutely.
And
a better coaching probably because it's quite obvious he didn't get along with the coaching staff or Doug Peterson when he was with the Eagle. And
certainly a better stable of running backs.
Better stable running back. He gets just a better team. I mean, the defense is good. They play indoors, so that helps. You're not playing in the funky Philadelphia, and I think the whole Philadelphia situation got in Wentz's head with the fans, and he was a 10th pick or 11th pick. He was an MVP type candidate when he ran the ball in, and he tore his ACL, and he just never was the same in Philadelphia. And I think it was good to get a divorce.
Right. I mean, I'm not counting him out, but I'm not drafting him either.
I'm not drafting Carson Wentz.
No. We loved him a few years ago.
I'll let somebody else take him as their QB2, not me.
All right, next team. What do you got? How do you got?
I got Indy. I think Wentz is going to miss some games. I don't believe he's going to be ready for week 1. I got him at 9-8.
Wow.
I think they're going to. I bet that's an under bet in Vegas on the over/under and wins. I think that Wentz thing is going to linger. I don't think he shows up in week 1 and he's like, my God, my foot is fine, and look at how great I'm playing.
Yeah, I read a blurb today where
2 weeks. A little over 2 weeks away. He hasn't practiced yet.
Think we get him to be sponsor? Sure, hold that up a little higher.
Oh. If Coke wants to sponsor me,
they're
I'll drink all kinds of Coke.
The drivers are on strike, by the way. We're probably going to get ticketed right now. I think they're over at the Starbucks, believe it or not, because they all own they're all in the same corporation. Okay, the last two, I kind of went with this in like good to bad, but it's hard to say between which is worse between Houston and Jacksonville. Let's start with Houston.
Houston's worse than Jacksonville.
I agree, but I just got Houston next on the list.
I'm just saying.
Deshaun Watson probably not going to start. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor.
He will never play another game for Houston.
That's so funny too. He goes, wait. I hear you, but what's the deal though? Why is he? I got 22 people that says that I'm a cad, so I'm not playing for you anymore. I mean, what did he do? What did they do to him?
I don't think it's a case that he doesn't want to play. I think the NFL.
I thought he said he didn't want to play no more there.
That's not what he said.
Okay.
Before all this came out, he was saying
he wanted to leave.
I want to leave. Maybe you should trade me. They were going to work out a trade with Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia. Philadelphia was like, we're going to get Watson. But then obviously all the legal stuff started. And now he just can't play. The NFL is not going to let him play.
Oh, they're not.
And Houston's already – he'll never throw another pass for the Houston Texans.
So
it's probably going to be a lost season for Watson.
So Tyrod Taylor, he's going to be the guy.
He's going to be the guy.
In my opinion, absolutely deserves a shot at another year of football after what happened to him last year. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't turn out to be a better season to watch for the San Diego LA Chargers.
I say the same
thing. But Tyrod is, again, he's got some legs. They don't have much at wide receiver. It's Brandon Cooks, and they lost Randall Cobb, I don't know who's their tight end.
They got Kiki Okoti. We love
The
them.
QT. Oh,
They
God.
got Jordan Atkins. They
Yeah,
got that big
the diet guy.
big
The
guy
diet
going.
guy. The diet guy. Yeah.
I mean, they got your boy Nico Collins. They got Andre Roberts.
That's my guy. That's my
It's
guy.
just a bunch of.
My sleeper is 6'4" Nico Collins.
Okay.
Look him up. All these guys I don't know about, by the way, they're all sleepers until I know about them more. Then we mark them off with an X or we look into them. I think he's big enough. They're going to have to throw the ball somewhere. Brandon Cooks is famously unable to stay out of the field very often.
Concussion. He's just one.
Nicole Collins,
away
he
from
could be
10.
the number one wide receiver in a very short period.
Yes, he could. And their defense.
Nico Collins.
Their defense is horrible. J.J. Watt obviously is gone. He went off to Arizona. That team is bad. The running game bad. They got
what is it? Yeah, David Johnson
They got
and
David
Lindsey.
Johnson, Lindsey, and they got Mark Ingram. They're talking about Lindsey starting, David Johnson having like a secondary role, third down back.
And how do you not like Mark Ingram? I mean, he's gonna if he's vertical, they're gonna play him. I mean, right?
It's a good question. I
play
know
him.
they got him in camp. He'd probably be like a goal line back, and personally, I don't want any part of maybe Lindsey, but really late as a 4, maybe 5.
Gotcha. What do you got him as far as again? No defense. You don't want the defense.
I think they're gonna luck into it. I think they put with Jacksonville, and I think they play the Jets and.
Yeah, they got a pretty easy schedule.
I don't think any team anymore is gonna go undefeated. Is it undefeated? No, not undefeated.
Winless.
Winless.
I found the word.
If I say Houston's gonna go undefeated,
that would be.
They're not gonna go winless because
that's gotta be some high odds.
I personally think Houston can win like a COVID win, like. Oh, we didn't have to play and we won.
That would be awesome if you I got him down for 1 COVID.
I got him down for 2-15.
All right, that's fair enough.
But they're not good.
They're not good.
They're the Giants of the AFC.
Okay, a team that I like to watch.
You've always loved them.
I have suited up Gardner Minshew probably more than most fantasy. I put him out in a two-team quarterback league when he gets a chance to play. I put him in.
Mustache, he throw the ball around.
DJ Chark got a whole career in music because of what he did.
Yep.
So let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit. Obviously, I think they'll be a little bit better. They got the Rook. They got the other Rook. They got Tyus Etnies. They're going to play him in the slot. He might be one of those guys, by the way, that gets that dual crapola wide receiver
running back.
That's a very juicy place to put a guy because you want to put him in a wide receiver because you don't get running stats out of them usually. I think that again
he's going to catch the ball.
There could be 2 teams. I'm interested in Marvin Jones. As you know, I'm interested in DJ Chark. I had Laviska Shenault. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he's miscast. Maybe he's a tight end or something. I mean, look at his body. He doesn't chalk out as a wide receiver to me at all. He could be a linebacker. I don't know. With a name like Laviska Shenault, you're like, well, he's probably spry. Just the name sounds like he's fast. I don't think he's very fast. He's not my guy. I'll take the other 2 guys. I want to mention James Robinson.
Yeah.
Again, I did draft.
Man.
I was in a couple leagues last year. I did draft him in one, and I won that league. Thank goodness. And he turned out to be my number 2 running back because I lost Mostert. And it all worked out well. I think he's getting underdrafted. That means way up there. Like Robert said, hey, if they want to do a running team, if they want to be a running team, Robinson's more your running guy between the tackles.
He's a dirty work guy.
And again, it's a 1-2 punch for sure. But I think if you can get James Robinson's getting drafted down there with golly, I can't even think of running backs that are going around.
Yeah,
I'll bring it next week. I'm who do you want, James Robinson or
he's in like 25 to 30,
like David Johnson?
Would you want David Johnson? Other teams, you take at least one running back before you circle back.
Yeah,
everybody's hung up on the rookie, right?
They really are, man. They're
hung up on the rookie.
James Robinson got the play.
From James Robinson.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He may not get the 10 touchdowns, but I think he pushes 8.
And I think
8 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's
going to number 3.
900 yard to 1,000 total scrimmage yards.
He played hard, like you said.
He's going to play hard. I mean, the rookie, they're going to get him in space. They're going to get him the ball and catches and draws and runs and screens and whatever the hell that Urban Meyer got in his little brain.
Right.
But James Robinson could be the dirty guy. He's going to be from the 20 to 20. when you're running out the clock late in the game, if they're winning, Robinson's going to be the guy. I think he's kind of a forgotten guy because I don't think he got valued last year. Why? Because he was undrafted free agent. He was this great story. And everybody thinks, well, you're a great story, but you don't have talent. Well, he does have talent.
He does. And he caught some passes, too. He caught some touchdown passes, even.
He's a good player.
I remember one game that I was dead in the water, and he got me a win.
I picked up a Robinson, and I picked up Justin Jefferson.
That should be a winner.
I would have been nowhere without either of those men. Thank you, James Robinson.
I think the biggest difference between you and me, Robert, I play in these leagues, and I'm not kidding you, that we have a roster of 24 players, 22 at the minimum.
Yeah.
So you don't have a chance to get these guys because you're not going that deep. I wouldn't want to play in that. I feel very I play on online leagues and stuff, and I enjoy having a very deep bench. For one, I'm a sick waiver wire guy. I mean, I will sit there and toil and put. I don't wait for the open. I put 5 picks in if I got it. I'm one of those guys. I'll have it open. What do you got Jacksonville at? Wins
3 and 14.
That makes sense. They'll win a few. Rock and roll. All right. Let's go to our last regular segment and see if we can blast through it. It's a segment that it's something that I've done for a few years when I got tired of people telling me not to draft that guy because he's only going to be good in the beginning of the season, or not to draft that guy because he's way too down the road. You can get him on waivers. Well, I came up with a strategy of a thing I've called now and laters. I get a couple nows and a couple laters. That way I've got guys to play for both, hopefully.
What was your favorite now and later flavor?
God,
I like the cherry.
I didn't. Those things like pulled out my dental work.
Yeah,
so
they
I don't
were
really like.
They were a little rough on the teeth.
I'm not kidding you. Sometimes I would just suck those down because they were hard to chew.
Yeah, they were hard to chew.
I didn't. Starburst all the way, but now and laters are good.
Starburst all the way. Yes.
Okay, now and laters. I'm starting on mine, Robert. Are a couple of pairs.
Yeah.
They have a couple of pairs. Again, this might not even be the case because they are saying that Trey Sermon may have a role right away. But in my opinion, Raheem Mostert gets the opener. And I'm sorry, they played Detroit game 1. That's who just said that. I'm sorry. I think Mostert gets the field until he runs. I think he might be too fast for his body to take. He runs so fast, he runs into people. He does amazing things when he's out there. He's just not capable of staying healthy. He hasn't yet for me in the 2 years that I've had him. It's that time.
2018, Raheem Mostert played 8 games. 2019, he actually played 16. But then last year he went back to 8. 8, 16, and 8. So it tells you what you're kind of getting into. I got him on my now list as well.
Gotcha.
Because
Good.
he is a now guy. If he's healthy,
He's now.
it's going to be that first half of the season.
And Trey Sermon's going to be a long system guy. Next, I got again. This is down the road. This is your last round picks here. If you're hurting at running back, a now guy, I believe, is Tevin Coleman. I mentioned it. He's going to start for the Jets until he gets hurt. He's a dual threat, one of those runner and catcher guys, which I think Zach Wilson probably would covet, at least early on. Someone with some experience that knows how to protect him for a little bit. And then obviously as they work, Michael Carter, who has been the best runner in camp, they say, I believe takes on the bigger role. And I think the Jets are a little better. Could the Jets finally have a running back that you could plug every week, Robert? At some point?
I think they're getting there. Remember Curtis Martin?
Yeah, Curtis Martin might be the last
guy.
That's unreal. Golly. I had him too as a
rookie. I remember when they had Freeman McNeil and
New England. Curtis Martin started in New England, right?
Curtis Martin, yeah. And then he signed his. Remember Bill Parcells came over. He came over with him.
I had him as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since we thought Jets running back.
Rock and roll.
Wow.
My last pair, I've got Sammy Watkins healthy early. And I think, again, Rashad Bateman takes over a regular role, and they actually finally get someone to play along with Mark Andrews. Because Hollywood Brown had a decent last third of the season, not even second half. Last third. The last six games, he played fantastic.
He's a best ball guy.
But I'm not trusting
You cannot trust him on day. Remember he had that 5-catch, 153 touchdown? Everybody thought he was going to be a fantasy superstar.
Yeah. No.
Only in his mind.
Right on. All right. Other nows that are just now. Jalen Waddle, I said, because he's going to be the vocal point of week 1 without Devontae Parker's been hurt as well. And Fuller is suspended. Marvin Jones, because of the maturity factor. The playing with the coach for 2 years. I give Marvin Jones a couple of pubs, didn't I? Again,
you like
I think
Marvin
he's going to
Jones.
be. I think he's going to be the man early on. Those guys can catch up. DJ Chark can certainly catch up, but I think that it's going to be Marvin Jones early, and then the guy that I said he stood out in camp, Marquez Callaway. He is He's the definition of it now, guy.
Definition.
Because there isn't anybody else there. Now, Traquan Smith can maybe still. What's funny, Robert? Before Traquan got Smith, Traquan was in this role. He was in that exact spot. He was in this spot for me.
When they had Sanders and they had Michael Thomas, he was in that role.
Yes, and he filled in. He did okay. He did okay. I mean, you got Drew Brees. Something's going to happen good.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Jameis Winston. At the moment, he throws the ball a bunch. If he's going to play, he's going to be in there. I think at market, you're going to get Callaway for a song unless someone's like me that's going to hype him. Other guys later in the year that we expect to take over. I don't think DeAndre Swift is the guy, so I think Jamal Williams in Detroit takes over. I think Ruggs has been hurt. I think Henry Ruggs takes over a role as a number 3 wide receiver later in the season. And then a couple of the backups. Did I not put Pollard in? Pollard probably gets a start. We know Matson's going to get a start, right? For the last 3 years, Cook's missed at least 2 games.
Yep.
Chris Carson runs way too hard. He's going to miss a few games. And again, I said this last week.
True.
I think Rashad Penny finally gets healthy for a couple of those games.
Big back.
So he's a later. Darnell Mooney is a later. I think that he's having a monster camp. Allen Robinson. You know what? He hasn't been very happy with the treatment he's had from the Bears from the jump. Didn't like the franchise tag. Doesn't play like, in my opinion, Bo, he's not playing like a franchise player. Don't have a good quarterback anyway. But I think Mooney could be a now even new. I think by the end of the season we're going to say, man, I'm glad I picked up Mooney for later. Am I right?
I agree.
You can leave that if you want. And then my last again, Tony Pollard for sure. Elliott looked a little chubby to me. Pollard looked.
He always looks chubby because his stomach's always sticking out.
Yeah, he ain't missing
with the tattoo, and you're like,
he ain't missing no
man. Good look.
Pollard did look better than Elliott quite a bit. He has often in his career, and if Pollard gets his chance, he's going to run with it.
Remember they were talking when when Elliott was going to hold out. They're like, Pollard could step in.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
We don't need you.
And I added him today because I think Aaron Jones gets hurt. A.J. Dillon looks good in preseason. He's probably already locked up the goal line right now. I mean, he has
they
that
said
now.
They got the eyes of thunder.
Yeah, him and Zach Moss. Yeah. That's the others I got. No more. I'm done.
Okay. Well, we got a couple overlaps. We'll go through them quick.
I'm glad. Overlaps means that that's
we're both thinking the same way. We never compare our lists before we do our lists.
Not really.
Not really. I mean,
just when we bet, we
make our wagers,
we have just so you guys know. Yeah, we put bets out there for you, and we've had 2 years of positive. You would have won money because we each take 3 games. We're not crazy people and bet the whole lineup.
No,
we pick over-unders rarely, but we do. We had 2 weeks last year, and we give it right to you where we went 6-0.
Yep,
$5 or $10 on that would have paid for your whole league.
Yeah, there you go.
Move on, Robert.
League fee. Well, I got Marquez Callaway from the Saints on my list.
Now,
second-year receiver out of Tennessee. First exhibition game, 3 catches, 61 yards. We're talking about Michael Thomas. They don't know when he's going to come back. He's coming off the ankle surgery. They're saying at least 5 games. At least 5 games. Michael Thomas is going to miss the first 5 games. Traquan Smith, he's been banged up. So at the very least, you're going to get a number 1 or 2 receiver on the Saints. For the first 5 games. At least. So, if you get him as your 3rd receiver, or, God, I don't think he'll fall in the 4th kind of category with the hype he's getting, but definitely a value there. I'm going a little different thinking here, Ron. I got Jamal Williams as my now. I think with Swift hurt. Swift is injured. He's got the groin. He's got DeAndre Swift had concussion problems. Last year he got a concussion. He got a concussion at Georgia. I think Swift is not going to be very durable. And if you look at Anthony Lynn, who's the new offensive coordinator, who used to be the head coach of the Chargers, who's now the new offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, he's saying they could be 1A and 1B.
And we love Jamal's the A. And Jamal's the A.
And here's the thing about Jamal Williams. No wear on those treads. Those
Yeah.
tires haven't been running. This
Yeah.
is a fresh running back who didn't get beat up in Green Bay. He's fresh. He's ready to go. He's playing in the dome. I think
And a
he's
shot. And he's got his chance finally
He's
for
got
take a
it.
lead role.
He's got his chances to lead role. I like him as a now.
I like
I'm just
it. Hey,
I'm just saying.
that's
I'm just
that's
saying
why
what I'm
we're
saying.
here, baby.
That's
That's
why
why we're here.
I got
want
I got Raheem Mostert as a now. You know, we talked about 8 games, 16 games, 8 games. You know, there's a good chance he plays only about half the games.
He is fantastic.
He's a fantastic player.
But again,
Fast.
2 of those games, by the way, they did play. He kind of didn't.
Right.
So
Right.
he screwed me for 2 weeks.
I mean, last year
because he got hurt during the game.
We think he did great, you know, and he did good for those first 8 games, but then he disappeared. He was gone.
Yeah.
So I think he's a now. I mean, if you get him and you get Sermon, you're probably going to you're going to probably play Mostert until you see Mostert hurt, and you play Sermon.
Crazy thing, you're gonna have to draft Sermon first. You're gonna
Probably
every
the
draft.
way the hype is going. Probably
Mostert goes 2 or 3 rounds later.
right.
Moving.
I've got and I'm sorry.
Don't
I
apologize
said
for your
I'm
genius.
not going to take any of the Giants,
You're back in.
but.
If you got it now,
I got it now.
Is it my guy? Is it the shark?
It's Devontae Booker.
Oh, it's the Booker.
He's running ahead of Corey Clement. Barkley's a slow recovery. Booker was the backup last year with the Raiders to Jacoby Jones. He had a pretty good year. In 2018, he had 38 catches with Denver. You remember he used to play for Denver, then he went to the Raiders. Last 2 seasons, stat time. Thank you. Barkley's missed 17 games last 2 years out of 32. So, you know, I know he got hurt last year. He got hurt the year before. There's a trend here. And if you're looking for if I'm looking at a late 3rd, 4th running back,
you said, they did
do worse.
They cut Alf, so less mouth.
There's no mouth feed there. Yeah. I mean, if I have to take a giant, it would be Booker.
I'll take a little
one. All right.
Okay.
All right. My other now is I got Gabriel Davis as a now. I think this Stephon Diggs thing is interesting. I think there's too much smoke around his knee. There's too many. He ain't practicing. They're not saying much. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he needs arthroscopic surgery.
You know what? They even said it leaked. They didn't even say the news was out. Like they gave the news. They said his knee information was leaked when I read.
Right. So it's kind of been a secretive thing. So I'm looking. This will all probably come out before our drafts. Gabriel Davis, to me, I know they got Emmanuel Sanders. You got your boy Cole Beasley. But last year, Gabriel Davis, 35 catches, 599, and 7 touchdowns as a rookie. 17.1 average per catch. Played 68% of the snaps last year. So they were getting him into the games. He was kind of that third receiver.
When Diggs catches 130 balls, though, there's not a lot to go around.
Not a lot to go around, but I think Gabriel Davis could be a now, especially if you think Diggs is not going to be healthy for the opening four.
Yeah, he might be one of those guys you always get the backup running backs, get your backup wide receiver in this case.
Because if Diggs is out, if they know he's going to be out like 2 weeks, they'll put him on the five game, right? Get him healthy for the rest of the season. Love Gabriel Davis. I like him anyway.
I had him on I drafted him last year.
I think he's going to go right past Emmanuel Sanders. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Adios.
I agree.
All right. My now, Kareem Hunt for the Cleveland. Stat time. Of Kareem Hunt's 841 rushing yards, 523 came in the first 8 games.
Wasn't Chubb hurt or no?
No. It just shows you. They wanted to pace Chubb.
Early on.
Share the load. Don't overwork Chubb.
And then when guys are starting to get tired, we'll grind them down.
Gritty with the weather. Remember that Cleveland played a couple wind.
Against the Raiders. The Raiders.
Remember those games?
2 weeks in a row.
Then it was Chubb then. Of his 6 rushing touchdowns, 4 of them were in the first 8 games. And now we're talking about Kareem Hunt as kind of a pass catcher.
Yeah.
Kind of back, the change of pace.
Yeah.
All right. Stat time. Last 5 games of the season, Kareem Hunt, 3 catches, 1 catch, 1 catch. What does this tell you? He's not really the third down back.
No.
He's really not the pass catching back.
They're splitting some time.
They're splitting
That's
the
it.
time early on to kind of pace Chubb. So if you're looking at it now and you're drafting Kareem Hunt, you're going to use him the first half of the season.
And then trade him.
And then trade him or don't depend on him.
I think
All right.
trading him is a good idea.
Later.
Later.
All right. We're going to start with an easy one. If you take Justin Fields, he's going to be a later. Why? They're going to start Dalton.
At least a few weeks.
They're going to start him first few weeks. Now, for our little exercise, when is Fields going to start? Well,
I don't know, Robert. When?
The Bears play at the Rams, then they play Cincinnati.
Ouch. Yes.
Then they play at Cleveland.
Ouch.
Then they play at Vegas. Then they play Green Bay at home, and then at Tampa. That's their first 6 games. Tough little stretch. I'm thinking the Bears are going to go 1-2 and struggle going into that Vegas game. He'll start the Vegas game. So write that down.
Fields, Vegas, I got it.
Fields in Vegas. It sounds like Strawberry Fields. I don't know what it means. So that's your later. Another later I got is a guy that people are probably sleeping on because of a man that used to play in Cincinnati. Christian Kirk. He's kind of getting forgotten about because they got A.J. Green, they got Hopkins. Oh, my God, A.J. Green's here. Oh, my God. Last year, A.J. Green got credit for playing 16 games, but he really didn't play 16 games. He kind of sat on the sideline for 16 games. But previously, 10 games, 16 games, 9 games. A.J. Green, 964, 1,000 yards, 694, and 523 the last 4 years.
Yeah. Down.
Touchdowns, 4, 8, 6, 2. I mean, he's 33. God bless him. I know you love him.
He's gone. He's done.
But Christian Kirk, I think, is getting forgotten about because when they see that A.J. Brown ain't going to be running around like he'll be a later. Because who are you going to put with Hopkins? You're going to put Christian Kirk.
Didn't they draft a rookie, too?
They drafted a rookie.
What was I can't read him.
Yeah,
Can't think of it.
I know who you're talking about. But I think Kirk, with his experience, he had 621 yards last year and 6 touchdowns, 42 catches.
He did do like he had a great month where he had he had back-to-back 2 touchdown games or something.
There where he looked like he started to get it, but remember they had Larry Fitzgerald running around, they had Hopkins, they got Kyle Murray running around.
I'll give you this:
you got the Drake.
The playoff, the preseason game I watched, he made a couple great plays, and they said the same thing. We expect him to take a leap because of A.J. Green's not going to be
People are sleeping on him. I think they're forgetting about him. I mean, you might see A.J. early in the year. So
you got to stick with him, man.
You got to stick with him.
Especially if you get later. You got to say that. You can't say I'm drafted a later and dump him in week 2. By the way, then we scold you.
We're talking about 4, 6, maybe 4, 6 weeks down the road.
And if you don't think they're going to get drafted, then in a couple weeks, pick them up.
Right. All right. Moving on, guy we talked about, Donald Peoples-Jones with Cleveland. He's a later. He's not a guy that's going to come out of the barrels, Beckham and Landry are going to start. There's no doubt about it. But I don't expect either one of those guys to stay healthy, let alone Beckham stay healthy. I think this guy's going to be the number 3 with a bullet when Beckham goes down or starts having his issues or inefficiencies. They're high on this guy. He's a star at camp. They say he's the most improved offensive player they have. Which is saying something with the roster that Cleveland got. They got a very good roster.
I see it. You've got a Donovan Peoples-Jones is what you have. You're jonesing for Donovan.
Jones.
I got it.
Okay. Quarterback, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
I got Mac Jones as a later. They're going to start Cam Newton. All right? They're not going to start the rookie. Belichick's not as crazy. He's not too crazy. It's time and time again has proven he didn't start, He does not start rookies. He does not, he looks at them and then grunts at them and kind of grimaces at them. But, Cam Newton last year, my goodness. Cam Newton played 15 games.
That's hard to believe.
2,657 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Did have 12 rushing touchdowns. I'm not going to take away from that. But he totaled 20 touchdowns in 15 games. Not exactly an offensive juggernaut. We talked about they got a team built for passing. They got the 4 receivers. They got 2 tight ends. They paid a lot of money for. Mac Jones is going to play this year.
I hope
Write
so
that
because
down.
all those
There's
guys.
no doubt about it.
I'll draft I'll take all those guys when he's in there.
There's no doubt about it. Mac Jones is going to play. It's a matter of when. And he's 6'3", 217. He looked like some good things in preseasons, like all rookies. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing. Belichick's not going to start this man, right? I'm looking maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th week. New England's 500. Belichick's like, it's go time. And then my last two guys on the later list, two guys from the Jets. Michael Carter. We got Michael Carter because they said he's fighting for the starting job with Coleman. Coleman's probably going to get the start. I mean, this is a guy that 4th round, 5'8", 201. Coleman played in 14 games and 8 games in the last 2 seasons. So
It didn't. Another one. He might not even play though.
He's not hugely dynamic. I mean, Carter's going to play, but this is a guy. Perfect example of Ron said. If you draft him, you have to sit on him. You have to wait.
Don't even look at the game. Don't even look at the box score.
If there's a poster child for the later, it's going to be Michael Carter. You have to wait. It's not going to happen right away. And then I got Elijah Moore, the wide receiver from the Jets, because they got Corey Davis. They got Denzel Mims, who was a 2nd rounder last year. James Crowder, and they got Keelan and Cole. Remember him running around with
from Jacksonville?
Yeah. So right now they're going to take it slow, but man, they said this guy catches everything. He runs all the routes. He can fly. Work ethic.
He gets the crowd. I saw him whooping with the crowd and stuff.
Right.
He was very engaging with the crowds as a rookie. Very fun stuff.
Right. And Moore, he was a 2nd round pick out of Mississippi. Why? Most people thought he was a 1st round talent. But at Mississippi, he played with limited passing game. They had limitations. They weren't a dynamic passing offense at Mississippi. He didn't have a great quarterback. 1st round talent, everybody agrees, but then everybody in the NFL gets scared when you're talking about a guy. If he didn't do it in college, is he going to do it in the pros, and then we're going to look stupid? So these are the kind of guys that get kind of overlooked. Kind of like Peoples-Jones. He didn't have that dynamic college career.
He developed later.
But he didn't have a dynamic college career because of the scheme and all the things at college. Doesn't mean he doesn't have talent. And this guy, they said he's got talent through the roof. What's his face?
Michael Jordan went number 3 overall, by the way.
One of the Hopkins said he would bet he would bet his paycheck that Moore's going to be a star.
I'd like to hear that.
I went, what?
I believe it.
That's how people see this guy. But it might not be right away because, like you said, the coaches let rookies come along. You got a veteran wide receiver crew. Now, I would watch the Jets and see if they waive Crowder. If you see Crowder waived, then Moore might get to play sooner. Let's see if Crowder makes the team out of camp.
What do you? Thanks, Robert. Great segment. What do you guys think of that segment? Again, I think it's unique. Have you seen anybody sort of cover anything like that before? No. I have not. No. So good for us. All right, we got to blast through the AFC West, and then we're going to send you on your way. What do we need to talk about here much? Kansas City, we know this team pretty well.
They don't have any good players in it.
They don't. Nothing. No real changes except on defense, right? They've added some defense.
I'm trying to get to
the one player I think could be a difference that you don't know or may not draft is I like Darrell Williams. I will take him I will take him down the road as a possible later. CEH is not. Again, I watched the game. He doesn't show many dynamic, shifty moves, in my opinion.
I don't think he's going to be what everybody thought.
What Darrell Williams gives me, what I saw, is he sees the hole, he grabs it. He's not CEH trying to look cool a little bit in my mind.
Jarek McKinnon now. You remember him from Minnesota, and then he went to the 49ers and got hurt. Yeah. So, but he's running around too. But I think it's going to be the Williams. Once again, it's Andy Reid with the draft stock in CEH. He's not going to just go, well, I got to give up on my pick. So.
We got to talk about Ty Hill or Pat Mahomes or Travis Kelce? No, I don't think we should. 17 touchdowns for Ty Hill. I bet you nobody on the planet thought he could ever get near that figure because of the way he catches the ball. I personally didn't
think he would ever get to that consistency. Yeah. Right? I thought he'd be Deshaun Jackson with health.
Right.
Where he got behind the D, You get the boom games
But
for
not
140,
not
2
to
touchdowns,
Yeah.
but not be that consistent receiver going seven catches, 90 yards.
They,
Toughing it out.
I think they figured out how to wiggle
They
him out
figured
over
it
the
out.
middle where he doesn't have to run too far, and then he
Andy
just
Reid
works.
figured
He
out
just
how to
goes.
work. Andy Reid, smart man.
Absolutely.
You know?
New defense, maybe a better Harrison
little
Butker. But if you wanted the best kicker in the league, I say he's the one.
Pretty good kicker.
Pretty good kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves Justin Tucker. They don't score enough. They run too much. Casey runs it up. What's their what Marcus Robinson was sort of complaining, I guess. I read because he was wanting an opportunity to take over the number 3 role. You're good right where you are.
Yeah, I mean, they got Pringle like we talked
Pringle
about.
might be something.
Right,
Keep him on your short list.
Like short list, they got a backup tight end, Noah Gray, to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Kelsey likes him. They drafted him. They said they might run a lot of 2 tight end sets like they did when the year that Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns, they ran a lot of 2 tight end sets. And they said this Noah Gray is really coming along and like a Kelsey light. Somebody to keep an eye on.
What do you got? How many games you got with him?
12-5.
12-5.
I think the division's tough. You got the Chargers. You got Denver, who's no slouch. Vegas isn't, like you said, no slouch. So I think Kansas City. If you watch Kansas City last year, I think they didn't cover the last 9 games.
Right.
They weren't blowing people
one score
out.
game, less than a score games, like
right.
3
Remember
2-point
Atlanta?
games.
They beat them 19-15. I mean,
Weird stuff.
They weren't blowing people out last year. I think that's going to kind of continue. Their defense is okay, and then they kind of turn it on when the playoff time comes. So I think 12-5.
Right on.
Yep.
All right, I got Vegas next. What do you slate a guy? I mean, everybody else was Waller's a 3rd rounder. I mean, additions wise, we think Ruggs and Edwards take a little step forward here.
Yeah.
Other than that, the Kenyon Drake is the only real name that we can talk about being the addition here.
Yep.
And he's going to be more than a 3rd down scat back. We know that. Could he keep Josh Jacobs fresher? Do you still want Josh Jacobs? Have you ever wanted Josh Jacobs? That's a good question. Is he a top 10? Is he a top 15?
No.
Top 15?
In my opinion, no.
Top 20.
Now you're getting
got the
around
10.
that.
He got the 10, right?
That
He got the
RB2.
10.
Right. You're getting into that RB2-ish. I'd put him in that 20.
He's been miscast as an RB1.
Yes, he's way miscast as RB1. Somebody will take him, after they take a top receiver and a top tight end, they'll come back with Jacobs, right?
Right on.
So
but otherwise, we know what you're getting. John Gruden's probably a better than average coach, better than average motivator.
Yeah.
Carr is again efficient, highest completion rating, but he doesn't get it deep very often. But I'm hoping that Ruggs can rack that up a little bit.
He had that big game against Kansas City.
Nelson Aguilar had a monster.
He was throwing the ball up and over the top. I don't know. I think if Ruggs can take that step forward, maybe they'll open up the passing game a little bit more.
That's the only chance.
Right, but I mean they got a solid team. Their defense is horrible. They did not upgrade their defense.
I always like pass catchers.
They keep drafting defensive players that don't pan out. They reach for these defensive players that are no good. So in this division with the Chargers, Kansas City, and even Denver, they're going to be in some shootouts. So that's where you get your Derek Carr push.
Right on. How many wins?
I got them at 7-10.
Wow.
They're just not a good defense.
I hear you.
I mean,
I'm taking the over there. Just because I feel
division.
Right on. Denver. We gave Denver a lot of love. We're still in a quarterback competition. We're in a running back competition that we think Javonte will win. I'm a Sutton guy. I think Noah Fant has every opportunity to land in the top 10. He really does.
He does. He's got the talent.
If he can keep getting hurt, his health was an issue. When he has a game, boy, he has a game. I mean, he can really play.
He took that little swing pass and went 70 yards, blowing people away. He's good, but
Denver's a comer. But there's not much. We gave Judy some time. Sutton got some. Again, we're right at our leaving off going time, so we're gonna wrap up. Denver. What do you got?
I got them at. I'm sorry, they're gonna be 5-12.
Okay.
I think the quarterbacking is gonna hold that team back, and they're gonna be looking for that quarterback in the offseason. I think Aaron Rodgers is coming.
Right on. Our last team, our last talk, LA
Well.
Chargers, which is a good thing to leave on.
Good team.
The big addition is the center. The center was a big. The running game was a real problem for the Chargers last year.
Eckler was banged up.
Because of it. Justin Jackson was no good. The Kelly guy was not very good.
He could not run the ball.
Keenan Allen was the number one wide receiver for the first half of the season, though. He really was. And then he sort of tiered. But I'm with Robert. I want everybody on this team, maybe except for Jared Cook. I even would take the only because
Jared Cook,
they haven't really.
He's outside
that team hasn't used the tight end very.
He's a backup tight end.
They haven't used a tight end since Antonio Gates, really, because they never give Henry. Henry never had. But how about that? Henry never had a season. Not one.
No.
Not one season, by the way.
You
And
thought
it was
last
every year. It was, oh my God, you gotta get Henry.
If it was
Not
gonna-
one season.
If it was going to be a year, it would have been last year.
Right.
Right?
So
all they did was throw the ball.
gotta go. Yeah, if you couldn't do it that
So-
year, you gotta go.
Cook is a backup tight end.
I would take Eckler in the second round. I would take
Yeah.
Keaton in the third round. Maybe fourth round. But again, the reason about Keenan has a problem with getting yardage as well. He's more of a shorter
Definitely a
route
possession type guy.
I
Mike
had
Williams would be that. I think Mike Williams is a sleeper on this team.
if he can stay. Was he
If
another
he
guy that got
stays-
injured?
Stay healthy.
Or how about
He's
how
big
about
and fast.
how about those Guyton caught a touchdown during the pre? How
Yeah.
about those other guys? Any other like Guyton and there's another one.
Yeah, they got Guy, and they got Tyrone Johnson.
That's
they
it.
got Josh Palmer. I mean,
Josh Palmer caught one. Now he played it.
I think it's going to be the Mike Williams, Keenan Allen show.
Awesome. Hey, next week. Well, how many wins you got for them?
I got them at 10-7. New coach, new scheme. Tough division. Kansas City, Denver, and Vegas all give you a game. So
Right on. Hey, next week I will be here. Robert will be here.
I will.
We're going to talk again. We'll give you the week that was. Preseason games are going to come and will start becoming a little more important.
Well, this is going to be the important one, right? Because the
They
third
usually
one,
wet, yeah,
nobody's playing.
They always wet. They
Nobody's
always rest.
playing. That's going to be like your fourth one used to be. Everybody's going to have their dress rehearsal for the first half next week. So this is going to be really important to watch.
We're gonna talk about all the sleepers, including defenses. Robert,
Yes.
that's you.
Talk some D.
He gets the individual defensive player leagues. I don't do that. So we give him the defenses. We are going to bend the average draft positions to your will. We are going to bend them. We're going to revisit our top tens.
Yes.
And
We'll
see if they change.
If we make any moves.
And
on it.
on those top tens, Robert, we should focus on the 6 to 10 guys. Those guys are the rankings that, like, if you're at the back end of the one, and you, Lord no, right? The statistics show those back end front first round RBs, 1 out of 3 maybe do what they did. We're gonna try to hopefully find the one that's there for you. Okay, Robert?
Amen.
Rock and roll. All right, guys.
Let's have fun.
Tell folks about us. We need more likes
Yeah.
and shares, of course. We're looking to shoot for the moon with what we've been doing. I get 70 years of experience between us
A
both.
lot of experience.
Yeah, exactly. And we
Somebody
still
yes-
love it, too. I mean, I never get bored with it. I never get tired. I've been through 3 magazines. I read stuff. I read the updates every day. It's a lot of fun.
Yesterday, somebody asked me if I was 60. I went, what?
60
I
championships.
was like, what? I'm
All right.
60.
Somebody give Robert some love. He don't look
So,
60 years old.
If I was 60, then I'd have a lot more years. Anyway,
Well, great show.
have about
Great
40.
night. All right, guys. We are on y'all. Here's our great logo. Give us some love for the new logo. All right, guys. Be back next week.